And
Starting
we're ready to
recording on
start,
my end.
and we are ready to start session 9, which I have entitled Wrath of the Ancients.
Ooh.
So first,
It's all because I didn't ask for permission, isn't it?
So yeah, I want to first apologize for 2 weeks ago. I really wanted to play, but I was just absolutely freaking exhausted. And not that work has lightened that much since then, but I'm not giving up another gaming session. So we should have enough content for today. I hope we do.
I was going to say I've spent the last 2.5 weeks creating a site so that all the supervisors can see if their direct reports and organizations have filled out their daily pass that the university is requiring everybody to do their own little health check every day.
Mm-hmm.
And troubleshooting that, and then also creating the site for the so everybody can check in almost every single room on campus. You have to scan a QR code and check in.
So you're resuming in-person learning on your campus?
They are. We'll see how long it lasts, but
what school do you work for, Jim?
Rochester Institute of Technology.
Oh, right on. That's actually
yep. So they've got they went through. They added what is it? Micron filters to all the AC units. They've got wastewater testing going on. They put microwaves in all the dorms. People can order food remotely. They've got a separate building for anyone who gets quarantined. There was a news report that was really misleading that said we had 60 people tested positive when the people got back to campus, but it was actually 60 people tested positive in the tests we required them to have before they come to campus. And so none of those people actually came on campus. So we may get to that point, but we're not there yet. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're still looking at a hybrid model. Our classes don't start for another month still for us. But
okay.
I saw something very interesting this week where they were showing how they were trying to reorganize for certain classes where they decided that in-person learning was going to be required. And so they took the 6-foot distance and figured everyone shoulder to shoulder would be 6 feet. So they added 2.7 feet for that and came up with an 8.7-foot bubble that they wanted to put everyone not literally into, but in terms of laying out seats and where everyone could sit.
Yep.
And so they showed all these different classroom spaces with everyone sitting in the center of these 8.7-foot bubbles.
Yeah.
And just basically as one example, one of our classrooms that normally held 50 people before only would hold 6.
Wow.
The instructor.
Wow.
And basically, short of setting out some kind of huge outdoor tent on the lawn where they do graduation, none of our spaces are big enough to get up to the maximum of 50 people.
Yeah, they across the board, they set our max to 50% rated capacity, and set up everything for 6-foot spacing within there. And then for dining, they set up a bunch of tents, and they're extending our Wi-Fi and everything out there. And they're taking, actually, because sports are canceled, they're taking our ice arena. They put the insulated floor on it, and they've set up that as a place where people can go and study, where everything is spaced out 8 to 10 feet. And they've added all the Wi-Fi and everything there. So,
yeah, I have to admit they're trying to be very methodical about it and not trying to push the limits too much. I guess it all depends.
The problem is college students are stupid, and we all were. And so it's not going to be the on-campus stuff. It's going to be the off-campus parties they go to that's going to cause the problem.
Yeah, because they're all immune, but at least they're not going to be bringing them home to grandma, unless grandma lives across the street.
And just like we all were at that age, we'll all live forever. So, and nothing can ever happen.
I have a few friends that still think they're that age and are all ready to have COVID-19 parties. Like, where do I get it? I'm like, oh, good Lord.
That's not going to turn out like you think it will.
Yeah, things are definitely in the middle of, or the beginning of a very big change for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping we all survive.
Very good.
My daughter.
So we reached the pyramid. I'm so excited.
Well, it is in view now, that's for sure.
Yes.
So, all right, at this point, just a brief run-up. So let's see. It's been a little over a week. Remember, in Forgotten Realms, a week is 10 day. since you guys first found the troll cave and got teleported to the other side of Faerun. It is the first day of the month. It is early morning. The sun is rising roughly to your back, and slightly to the right and to your back. And ahead of you, again, also slightly to the right, almost directly north, is the gleaming visage of a golden, highly polished pyramid. It's obviously pretty big. You can't tell quite how big. It's obviously still quite a ways off. You're going to say at least a few hours. But it definitely is something that you would be able to reach within the day. That being said, the sun is coming up, and you're all pretty confident you're not going to make it to the temple to the pyramid before the sun starts really beating down on you. So you have a decision to make. This is about, if you had not seen the pyramid, you would probably be setting camp about now. But it is still relatively cool. And I mark down your food and water supplies inside the part. Keep in mind that whatever you have on your person, I am not modifying. I'm considering that like backup supplies for yourselves. But the camels are carrying a supply of food, rations, and water, which I am reducing from there as you go by day. That hits 0, then yes, we're going to have to start consuming whatever you got on your person. And just for reference, so you know how this has been calculated so far. So first of all, keep in mind, all right, so it's the first day of the month, 30 days in the month. This is the first of Eliant. You left Bralazar at dusk on the 22nd of Eliasis. And so I started counting down food from there. So you can always supplement with hunting or other meat. Well, I guess that's primarily it unless you manage to forage something. But basically, you've been consuming your food rations since you left Bralazar on the 22nd. You found the stream, or you came to the last part of the stream on the 24th and left that when you guys left camp on the evening of the 24th. So I've been deducting water from that point on. So you had 2 extra days of water, basically. You're losing 11 rations a day to cover you and the camels, and 8.5 gallons of water a day to cover you and the camels. Any questions about food and water management?
What do you guys think? Press on through the heat to get there, or should we, how far off, can we tell about how far off it is?
Like I said, it's probably a few more hours, somewhere in the range of, you're guessing 4 to maybe, it's not a full day, but it could be more than a half a day. But it's definitely more than an hour or 2.
I think there's nothing better than entering a pyramid at night. We should make camp and
also until you have an idea of the size of the pyramid, I mean, it is possible this thing is ridiculously huge and you're still 2 days away.
Yeah, it's having been out west too.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, is that it's still 2 days away because it's just so freaking huge.
Okay. So side story, when I visited my cousins in Nevada and we didn't have anything to do one day, I said, let's just go to the mountain. And they looked at me sideways because none of us could drive. I said, the mountain's right there. Let's just go over there. And they said, Dan, that's 20 miles away. I was like, oh, wow. So, yeah, having that little bit of perspective, realizing that things look a lot farther when you're in flatlands. And to mention that I believe last session we said we were going to make camp. And there was a slip of, yeah, if you guys are going to make camp, I got to have a battle ready. That was, if I remember correctly. So I think we were already planning on making camp anyway.
Yeah, I think the plan was to make camp and head to the pyramid and head out tonight. Again, not that we want to enter the temple and pyramid at night. It's just we're not entirely certain that our estimate of how far away it is accurate. We think it might be further away than we think it is.
All right, make camp. I'll do the ritual to do the dome.
Let's see, so where is that going to put me? We are in desert. I need the... All right, so the good news is that other than a couple of pack rats that you catch scurrying across in the desert, nothing really significant happens during the time that you're resting today.
Good.
Sweet.
All right, so you break camp and you start heading north. The sun, once again, as the sun starts setting, it reflects off the pyramid yet again. So throughout most of the day, I mean, you can see it, it's there, you can tell that it's golden. But when the sun is on the horizon, either at dawn or at dusk, it reflects directly off the pyramid and just looks like this gleaming giant diamond sitting on the horizon. Just absolutely, you can almost feel the heat coming off of it, even though it's still several miles away.
I'm looking it up real quick. So it looks like the Luxor.
Except in gold, not black. And it doesn't quite have that gleaming beam, you know, coming up, pointing at the heavens, but it's more of an aura of light, almost that intense.
Cool.
All right. Any questions, preparatory steps, or any other commentary before I start pushing you forward?
No, I'm good for walking. How do we want to run Varric today? Do you want to run him? Do you want me to run him?
Didn't one of you say that you still had access to him?
I did. I just let me see.
Open them up.
Remind me how to open up both.
Just go to the character button and click on the other character that you want to open, and then you'll have both. You can click to switch between active characters. You can click on their portraits in the upper left, or you can click on the speech bubble on the character sheet next to the token.
Okay. Do we have tokens up?
On the character sheet, in the upper right-hand corner is the token, and next to that is the speech bubble that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That'll switch between, clicking the speech bubble will make that character your active character.
Very good.
So,
thank you.
Looks like looks like right now Varric is the active character.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind if you're ever like, oh no, where'd my hotkeys go? Just check your active character.
Yep. Very good.
And the green arrow is pointing to. Put that on
The
there?
other direction from the signpost, I think.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I have a funny feeling those coconuts are going to come into play again.
I was going to say, Jim. Tuck-a-tuck, 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 tuck-a-tuck.
That's right. Hey, I get +5 to all knowledge checks pertaining to birds, so that's awesome. The coconuts were found under the corpse of 2 dead African swallows. So, good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely did this the wrong direction. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35. Wow. Oh gosh. The way my dice are rolling, you guys are in trouble if you run into anything. And that'll definitely do it. Interesting. Okay. So. You guys travel.
You're a little quiet. Did you move away from your mic?
Yes, I did. Thank you. Is that better?
Very good. Yes, much better.
Much better.
What a concept. Talk into the microphone. I think actually that's more of a function of my glasses, so that I have to stop leaning forward to look at my screen. All right. So we move you forward. We advance the clock. How long is that again? Shoot. All right. So. All right, so you're actually, the FG isn't really very good about letting me plop things down like in the middle of the way. So you're actually closer than 1 hex, but you're not quite in the next hex yet. But basically, you can see. Showing up. It'd be so hard to control these things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Screw that. Let me try it this way. Come on. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just
Come on, Graham, cooperate.
There we go. Okay, so that's basically where it appears that the pyramid is showing up at. So you're probably about halfway there for morning, from when you first saw it this morning. And it's getting,
Okay.
it's definitely before midnight, about 2 hours before midnight. Not that you would specifically know the time, but roughly about 20 to 10.
Okay.
The deep blue mists of the night swirl over the sands of Rorin, the incomparable desert of dust. As the cool night air drains the heat from the sand, you and your companions feel an unease beyond the chill of this night. An aura of eerie menace surrounds this place. Gradually, the winds change direction, bearing a thin streak of white mist toward you from the west. It swirls and disappears behind a dune 100 yards away. Moments later, a solitary figure appears from behind the same dune, plodding through the cooling desert sand. He appears to be dressed in a leopard skin robe and an ornate headpiece. He does not seem to be aware of your presence, yet he is heading directly towards you. Yes, this is the point where the players inject what they would like to
Yes, we're still processing, dear.
do.
So Redrith, seeing the figure coming and not knowing what it might mean, let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at something. He sends his owl up overhead to get just a different perspective and see what it can see.
All right, so you send the owl up. I presume you're going to quote unquote give him a bird's eye view.
Yes.
And leverage the fact that you're able to see through his eyes.
Correct.
And as you see the figure coming to you from the west and walking towards you, there's definitely something uneasy that you're getting even through the owl's point of view, but you can't quite put your finger on it. It's not like you can say, oh yeah, that's weird or that's not right, but there's just something about the way he's presenting himself or what you are perceiving that just doesn't quite seem right. As an example, but though it doesn't quite, this isn't necessarily true here. you know, as you're looking at it, you would think, you know, damn, why does he look two-dimensional? Why do I not see, you know, why can't I see any depth to this thing? And so it's not something you would pick up on right away, but it would come across to you as very weird. Or another kind of weird feeling would be like if you were suddenly, we're all in the northern hemisphere here. Yeah, if you were to suddenly be put in the southern hemisphere at night, as you know, the constellations are very different. You wouldn't quite put your finger on it, but at some point you'd be like, hey, wait, those aren't the stars I'm used to. So it's kind of that kind of feeling as you're watching him walk towards you from above.
Okay. Hmm.
I guess one thing that you can put your finger on that you would notice is that he seems to be reflecting the moonlight a little bit more vividly than the sand or each of you guys are. Or the cats, for that matter.
Redrith, oh, let me see here. Redrith prepares the spell Mirror Image to cast on himself.
Okay.
If anything goes out of the ordinary. It only lasts a minute, so he doesn't want to do it too soon. But that would at least allow him to stay in the fight a little longer if something goes sideways here.
Yeah, potentially.
So,
that's a good point.
Yeah, so he's just got that like in his, you know, right on the tip of his tongue, motions ready to
set
go.
that gauntlet, right?
Yes, exactly. And he's got the blade hilt in his hand, just kind of not sure what to do here. So
no, my name is not sure.
Right.
All right, so you're viewing him from above via the owl. You've prepped yourself a spell. Anyone else doing any other kind of preparatory action or direct engagement?
I'm going to be brave. I'm just gonna slowly walk up to it in cat form, obviously.
My owl is still circling around, but I'm no longer looking through its eyes.
Got you. And Ms., you're still in cat form, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the game doesn't seem to be showing your icon as such. It shows you in L form at the moment. So we'll just chalk that up to a bug in the game, and we'll presume you're maintaining your kitty form. So you're going to walk up to him on all fours?
It shows him as a cat in the combat tracker.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes, you're right. Interesting. Okay, maybe that's where it does it then. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, usually liches are pretty nasty and ridiculously strategic. Actually, I've been recently watching Star Wars Rebels and coming to have a twisted appreciation for Admiral Thrawn, if any of you know him. Getting some really sick ideas based on the way he runs things.
Thrawn. Ugh.
All right, so Mizram starts approaching him. Anyone reacting to the kitty cat's bravery? So you walk up towards him. He's walking towards you. The figure doesn't seem to make any notice, doesn't react to the cat approaching him in any way, shape, or form. Gets to a point where he's about 20 feet. There's about 20 feet.
I will sit down when he gets to 20 feet and just patiently sit down like I'm waiting for him.
All right, so Mizram is probably advanced, I'm going to say about 100, 120 feet beyond the rest of the party. Anyone else going to do anything or just going to wait for Mizram to engage the figure?
I'm assuming there's nowhere to hide, so I'm not so unless there's someplace good to hide. I'm just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, there is no good place to hide. I'm just also kind of more thinking if any of the party is ready to back up the kitty or trying to continue the charade of here, kitty, come back here. That's not safe.
I think Redrith realizes, seeing how far away the figure is, he'll put the sword hill back and have his bow in his hand.
Do I smell anything strange in the air as the figure getting close while I'm sitting there patiently?
We cannot hear you, Hig. I just saw you in the chat.
Dan, are you there?
Apparently he's trying to talk and is having trouble getting everything to cooperate so that we can hear him.
Yeah, he's not on mute.
Oh, okay, brothers follow the...
by 10 feet. Okay, cool. All right, so that definitely makes my adjudication substantially easier. So I don't have to worry about whether or not this would be triggered by a cat or not. So anyway, my apologies. He got to within about 20 yards, not 20 feet. And so kitty cat sits down at about 20 yards away, correct? Just waiting for him?
Yes, and at the same time, I'm just keeping my senses open, like my sense of smell, see if I can pick up anything odd that may prove that this may be more dangerous than I realise.
Dan, a suggestion might be if you're continuing to have problems, feel free to dial in through a phone, just add another connection, but at least you should get good audio through there. I know that's worked for Alex before. I know that's how she does most of her audio.
Another thing you might try is double checking your that you don't have like a hardware mute on your mic.
Yeah, because it's not muted by Zoom.
Okay.
But yeah, the phone option might be a good way around it if you're just getting thwarted. All right, so Miz approaches the figure, sits down at about 20 yards distant. The two brothers are about 10 feet behind him, flanking the kitty. The figure doesn't seem to take any kind of preparation or response or anything, almost as if it's kind of programmed and just continues on till it gets about 15 feet away, 15 yards away from you. And at this point, you kind of notice one thing that's unusual. First of all, he is traveling without making any sound whatsoever. You don't hear him shuffling through the sand. You don't see the sand moving out of the way. And oh, lo and behold, he's not leaving any tracks either.
Oh.
And at this point, he stops and begins to speak. I am Amun-Re, son of Takosh-Ra of the house of Mopilar. That which you see is but my shadow, which has walked these lands for time uncounted, in search of those of might and valor to plead their aid. In my time, I was pharaoh of this land now before you. Then, Bakar was a green and beautiful land, by the gods of heaven westward, with the wondrous spring of Athis, which gave life to our land and nurtured our crops. Yet did robbers raid the tombs of my forefathers, and take from them tokens of their passage into the lands of the dead, thus keeping them from their reward after life. I swore that at all costs I would not fall prey to their evil deeds. So it was that I made mighty and terrible war upon my neighbors, plundering their lands of wealth for my own passage. I did enter a contract
with a great mage to work a mighty wonder. And upon the sweat and blood of my people, I did build a theft-proof tomb. My people turned against me with bitter hatred. I not only robbed our borderlands, but taxed grievously my own people, and so took from them their wealth. They rose up in anger, demanding their gold and precious gems, their lives and freedom. I cursed them, saying, "By the ruling staff and the star gem of Mopalar, I curse you. Threaten not my life, or by them and by the holy name of Osiris will the stopping of my heart also stop the spring of Athos from her life-giving flow. As the river slows and dies, so shall your land wither in the wilderness. This do I swear by Osiris's holy name and these implements of my power." From a sea of upraised fists before me rose one with a spear. The shaft sped from the darkness, and so too, that night, did the spring of Athos stop its flow. In death, my spirit gleefully approached my pyramid, but Osiris stopped my spirit from entering that tomb. "For," said he, "your monument to life was to be the benefit you brought to the people under your stewardship, not this edifice of stone. As you looked only to your death in life, so shall you look only to your life in death. I am bound to fulfill your curse, but you have called it down with power in my name. But I do curse you as well, Amun-Re. You shall not enter this tomb where the implements are of your voyage to heaven, until some mortal soul does despoil this place, taking your staff of ruling and the star gem of Mopalar from your theft-proof tomb. Even have I talked with the wind in hope of help. Uncounted seasons have passed, and my kingdom is not now to be seen in these desert lands. Of it, nothing remains, save for my tomb, which stands now, as then, untouched by time, sands, wind, or men. Though many have tried to plunder my wealth, none has succeeded, and I am forbidden passage to heaven until one succeeds. My wealth is thine, if thou can but best that which I have built. Remove both my staff of ruling and the star gem from my tomb. So then will you gain great wealth, and so then will you release me. Follow my path to wealth, or to thy destiny, or thy doom."
And with that, the ghost disappears.
In my cat head, I am thinking, look like we gathered all the evidence what that old bloke needed for these powerful artifacts. To take this information back to him. Venture's over. Yay!
Is it just me, or was he coming through a bit too quiet there? Because I only think I heard about half of what he said.
I think I heard everything.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention. I was busy trying to add to my notes.
The problem with having separate speakers and everything else is that there's just way too many places to control the volume. Looks like someone tried to join and got dropped. All right. So, yeah, Alex, you'll notice I copied that all in so that you can add it to your logs and everyone else.
Yes, I was. If you didn't when you were done speaking, I was going to say something.
Where is it? Where is it?
Yes, I'm doing the exact same.
Well, while you guys are transferring and hopefully in hopes of letting Dan get connected, are you actually through now? Can you hear? Can you talk?
I hope so.
Yes,
Yes, I
you.
can hear you.
Woohoo!
Da, 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 da. All right, were you able
Well,
to
you
hear
said-
the little speech that the ghost just gave?
I could hear everything. When I just tried to switch over because I tried to talk again, I tried to go back to my tablet. Hold on a second. Still can be heard or no?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
still hearing you.
Sweet. You said looked like somebody tried to connect and got dropped. I heard you say that, and it said it gave me the answer. I tried to connect on a second device before I logged out of the first. So the 2 times I did that, it looks like it automatically dropped my audio. So I totally disconnected from both devices and re-entered, and now I can. Now that was the answer.
That makes sense. Okay, cool. All right.
So one of the things I said. So I heard everything.
Good.
Haig is going to go down on a knee, and you're just a basic cat, right? Just a like house cat size, Ms.
Oh, he's panther size.
I'm panther size at the moment.
Panther size. Okay, so all right, never mind. I retract what I was going to say. If he was kitty size, I was going to give him a lift on my shoulder.
Well, at your size, you probably could still get away with that, but I don't know how comfortable a kitty would be about that.
Well, technically, I do have 2 forms. I do have like panther form, and I do have like desert cat form, where like that about the size of a domestic farm cat. If you know what size of a farm cat is, a little bit bigger than a normal house cat.
Yeah.
That's
but if you're in panther form, I wasn't going to let you perch. That's a little heavy.
I could definitely come in handy in this milieu, though, without a doubt.
For sure.
All right, guys, I know it's a little less than an hour, but I need to take another break again. Sorry, biological functions, but that should give you a chance to finish copying everything over, and I will be back quickly.
I'm going to use that opportunity to get another hot cup of tea then.
Say that again?
Cool. He's going to get a hot cup of tea.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's always getting something to eat or drink.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, do you guys keep a water bowl handy for the cat?
Good question.
Redrith does not, because the cat should just frickin' change.
Well, what you got to realize is, what you got to realize is when everybody's sleeping, that when I change back into my druid form and just fill my face and get fluid, and then I'm just like, oh. So everyone wakes up, I'm just back in cat form.
So that's why you ride the camel, because it. Go ahead, Kit. Go ahead, Alex.
You make sure that you do your humanoid form stuff when Kaylee is not awake.
Most certainly.
But that's why he has to ride all day, Jim, because if he exerts energy, then he expends all his food and water in his stomach, and he can't last the whole day without changing. He says, All right. The sandwich sounds good to me.
Redrith is still thinking that he'd turn back if he was out of hit points.
Oh, that is mean. Just remember, I'm going to turn into the little dedicated just for you, just to pay your baggage a nice visit.
I always got a fireball.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Alex. Because in the beginning he was riding the camel as a house cat, and if he's, yeah. All right, cool. So we're gonna take a $5. Is that what it is?
Yep, I'm gonna do the same.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
AI is back.
Good. Good.
Ready check is up. Wait till everyone checks it off. Now, Alex, I'm really surprised they've not figured out that it would be nice if those circles indicated who they belong to. Seems like
They do that on purpose. I really wish they had a toggle for it. There's an extension called Ready Check
oh,
that will tell the DM who has checked and who has not.
well, I've avoided using any extensions up until Ms. insisted on playing Druid, and I kind of had to give him the one-shot Druid thing.
Right.
But yeah, extensions,
They-
they make things unstable, you know?
Yes, they do. I love extensions. I just always hesitate to use them because I can never be certain that A, they won't interfere with each other and break something, and B, that they will be up to date enough to function without breaking something.
Yep.
Because sometimes they aren't updated as quickly as we users would like because the dev just, maybe didn't have time to do it.
The X is my double check mark.
Okay.
All right, so Ms., are you back too?
Yep, I'm back.
Jim? Nope, still waiting for Jim.
He's still marked as AFK, so.
Oh yeah, I can also look up there. That's a good point. Forgot about that.
By the way, anybody been checking out Foundry?
No, not recently.
Had a go on it last night. Played in a one shot, and do you know what? I could see Fantasy Ground being in a lot of trouble if they don't get their butt moving. It's pretty good software.
Yeah, I've noticed, as much as I do enjoy Fantasy Grounds Classic, their development team is really poor about sticking to commitments. And really surprising after they made as much as they did through the early release of Unity last year. When they were looking for something like 30,000, they got 500,000, something like that.
Yeah.
I figure they could have hired a developer or two, or maybe someone that could, have managed the project a little bit better. But yeah, they're falling in the face of a lot of competition recently.
I've been watching Tailspire. Yeah. That one's pretty interesting.
Which one?
Tailspire, the 3D one.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that one yet.
Yes, I think I had a look at that. I think it was earlier on this year. Someone introduced me to it, and that looked pretty good as well.
Oh. I just thought of something.
Okay, fine.
I thought you were looking at the program.
Actually, you know what? Before I forget that, though, yeah. What's Tailspire? Is that it?
Yep.
I want to make sure I write it down before I forget it. But now I just thought of something else that I'm debating whether I should ask if anyone's seen it or if it actually would be worth it to try to just share it. Let me give it a try quick and see if I can make it happen worthwhile.
Miss, are you still here? You're marked as AFK again.
Oh, no, I did untick myself. I'm not sure if that.
It unticked you when you marked in the ready check. It toggled it for you without a notification.
I wonder if it's one of those physically but not mentally here things.
It's being weird.
Yes, it is.
There we go.
Yeah, I had to manually do it again. Odd. How's your internet for running a browser like virtual tabletop, Alec?
What?
How's your internet for running a browser like tabletop?
I mean, it runs Roll20 just fine. Not that I do much on Roll20, but when I have used it on this internet, it's worked just fine.
That's good. So definitely a good alternative option for you then. So you might want to keep your eye on Foundry as well.
Okay.
I'm going to try to share this. I'm only going to let it play for like the first 15 seconds or so to see if it's coming through okay. And then we'll see if it's worth playing, because I do think you'll all enjoy it, and it's definitely relevant. So let me start it and share it.
Oh.
Are you getting audio?
Oh, yes. Is this
I do
the
not
new
get
trailer?
audio. There we go.
I have seen this trailer, but yes, really good.
I'm not getting audio, but
Nope, the audio went away.
I think you just need to turn on your mic and let it go through your mic, Keith.
That's what I'm trying to do, but it doesn't seem to be picking it up. It's very quiet at the moment.
ooh, lunch. Okay, yeah, I'm getting audio.
Gross.
Oh boy. Mind flare?
Mm-hmm.
Illithids are nasty bastards.
Oh, yeah, they most certainly are.
That's freaking cool.
That was cool.
Awesome.
Here's a question for you, Keith. Do you reckon they will release Spelljammer?
I don't know, but yeah, that did look like a Spelljammer, didn't it? That could definitely be a hint in that direction.
Oh. Yeah, that looks awesome.
So I guess that was relevant, though. I guess it's coming out next month, but yeah, I don't have the time, but I'm seriously tempted.
Yeah.
And can anyone tell what it's based on? It's the Descent to Avernus put into the MMO.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, at least it's totally consistent with this Descent to Avernus storyline based on, the way it begins, so. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Hold on. We'll SLBs. Okay, my Windows system is telling me it wants to update and reboot. Hopefully it won't force
Tell it later.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it won't force it between now and then. But yeah, just in case. The good news is again, remember, Fantasy Grounds runs on a different system than everything else I do. So if you lose connection to me, you probably won't lose connection to the game. That being said, you know what, Jim, just in case, I am going to make you a co-host. Just in case I get dropped. I don't want the meeting or your recording to get denied.
Okay.
All right. So back to sharing the other screen. We're all here. We're all ready to resume.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you up there. Where's my... All right, so... Takes you about another 3 hours, a little more than that, before you finally close in on the pyramid. In the midst of the
Were we gonna have any sort of discussion on what we heard from the
that's probably... Oh, and
visage?
actually, you know what? There is one other thing that I almost forgot. You'd probably be a little bummed if I had. So, right after he disappears, Haig, Varric, and Miz all roll a perception check, please.
Okie dokie.
Would you like that in the tower or the open?
Open is fine. Just basically going to see which one of you notices what first. Probably is not going to be Haig. Looks like it'll probably be
Might be
Miz.
Miz.
Yep.
Let's see what it does. Okay, I got to make him active, which...
You don't have to make him active. You can just roll it off his skills tab.
Okay, it will come up as his. Okay, very good.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so Miz, right after the spirit disappears, you notice, as I mentioned before, he hasn't left any footprints or any tracks in the sand. But when he disappears, he does leave a piece of parchment. That seems to be, it's not a strong breeze, but, it's fluttering a little bit, and you probably don't want it to blow away.
I will quickly pound upon it and put my paw upon it, and then look at the two brothers and just give a little roar,
So,
and then look down.
to be clear, is that like both paws, butt in the air, tail wagging type pounce, or?
Yep, kind of.
All right, so I'll...
Yes, Alex, your rogue skills are insane.
Let's see. I'm going to roll to see if the brothers even notice his pounce. Is that...
Yeah,
Makes
I
sense?
think that would be pretty obvious, but yeah, I was going to say,
Well,
Alex, your
not-
sharpshooting skills that are my bane.
it's not going to be Haig that notices.
Yeah.
Haig just
doesn't
turns
see it.
around, starts just walking away. So I guess Varric will go over to the kitty, since you said it'd be pretty obvious, and
Yeah, especially with the pounce.
yeah, and see what's going on and grab the parchment. I'm gonna take it back to the group and hand it over to Redrith.
Wow, that was really strange.
Fancy.
How did that
All right.
All right, I've got something really freaking weird going on here.
Really?
Uh-oh.
All right, so you see that I'm sharing in the Zoom meeting the screen, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
parchment. Yep.
Mhm.
You see that the image has come up on the screen, right?
Sure.
But on the computer where that image is being shared from, the image is not visible.
Huh.
Wow.
There we go. As soon as I moved
on-
the mouse over it, it showed up. But yeah, wow, that was weird.
That's
weird.
creepy.
That
It's not
was-
supposed to do funky things like that.
No, it wasn't. But Zoom was showing what was supposed to be there, even though it wasn't there yet. I'm like, yeah.
How's that work?
I don't know. That definitely, excuse me, an interruption in the video driver somewhere, but that definitely seemed like Zoom is being psychic if I didn't know any better. All right, so that's your parchment.
Okay.
I'm pulling up the... So...
Yeah, I've got Discord open. I'm pulling up
Me too, yeah.
the notes that we made about this.
First symbol is that, looks like it's that TH symbol. So it's the...
Sorry, I'm still writing, so hang on a sec.
Okay. The for the first word. Basic lie.
Good job, Alex. I was wondering if you would notice that.
There you go.
No, I might be a little faster at this than you guys because linguistics
Studied
was
linguistics.
my major.
Yep.
But symbol matching is so it's
And I think you've come to recognize that not all the writing is entirely consistent, so there's some variation and judgment call.
no, it's
That's what was throwing me off too.
It's phonetic.
Yep.
And sometimes sometimes the letter symbols get dropped, and we have to interpret them as a phrase rather than as a word.
Right, but I was looking at so I was stuck on the second word because the Y looking symbol does, and the other script represents the oo sound, but there's no accent or dot above this one. So I was like, I'm trying to find another spot where, you know what I'm saying?
It's modified by the dots and accents, the diacritics, but there's a base sound for it as well.
Right. So we've got, let me see. I'm going to the lower spot, temple.
Yep, I see where it's labeled temple. I'm still trying to read what the pyramid is labeled, and the script. My eyes just can't separate the script from the pyramid image behind it.
So you got.
I see the word Tirbakir.
Entrance to tomb, maybe, because the second two words would be to tomb.
Okay.
So
entrance would make sense.
And then you've got is that a symbol there? Do we have an answer of what the cursive? So the cursive looking R is an R. So tour. I'm looking at the bottom right word there.
Tirbakir.
It is. Oh, so I was wondering if it was going to be Tribecar or whatever the town is.
Yeah, it's labeling the town.
Gotcha.
I'm working on the lower left.
Gotcha. So we saw that.
I also uploaded a copy into the Discord.
Wrong channel.
Campaign play?
Goes in inscription. It goes in inscription.
You're right.
Because that's what it is. I mean, it also fits in campaign play, but where we need it is ancient inscriptions because that's where we're collecting the stuff.
Yeah, you're
DM
correct.
just got his hand slapped. I don't know how I feel about that.
The librarian has spoken.
Believe it or not,
I do it to all my DMs.
People that actually like it when I'm called out on my shit. If I go through the effort to make some, put details into something and then I fall through on it, I deserve any flack I get.
Okay, so let me find. So I'm trying to, I don't know if you're going left to right, Alex, but I'm trying to go right to left and meet you in the middle. So I would just.
I'm working on the one in the lower left.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So the last letters are going to be TH blank S. And then.
THI.
It is THIS, okay.
Yeah.
Amun would be, so that's ATHIS. The first.
that middle word, which almost runs into the last word, is going to be of. So of Athos.
Of Athos.
But
Okay.
The symbols are hard to recognize.
Okay, so the little wave symbols, those are supposed to be N's, right?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I'm having trouble with those. I think that's a diphthong. I think that's 2 vowel letters in a row.
So if we look at the map where it shows Tribecar, Pazar, and the, like the upside down wishbone map, that
Yeah.
double O was for pool. Or did we decide that we got that wrong? Or was it
No.
sacred pool? Okay.
No, you're right. There's a diacritic over that to
Right.
possibly modify that sound. But yeah, I'd say that that's a pretty close match. But there's definitely a caret over it.
Athos is the river, right? If that helps us towards any sort of
Fountain.
the fountain of Athos.
I want to say that says fountain.
Yeah, I like that.
If whoever it is that does the image editing can add that to their image.
Yep, I'm working on it.
So what's funny is that it lists entrance to tomb, but doesn't give any direction or arrow pointing towards an entrance.
Correct. ENT, I'm not sure that's an R. That's definitely an E and an S. So if it says entrance, then it's dropped some sounds. So I'm not entirely certain what that word is.
That's a good point.
Well, I can definitely tell I'm not the one with the brains here because I'm now looking at the map with someone drawn a circle around it, and all my brain is seeing is a pair of titties. Awesome.
So I'm still not sure what that word is, but entrance makes sense contextually.
Right.
But given that there's no arrow from that label to a particular spot, I'm wondering if we're reading it right.
I just can't get beyond that thought. And the fountain of Athos being the river, being mother's milk for the desert. I just making all sorts of connections now. Oh boy. Let's see. I can't even focus now. Oh my gosh. So it does look like it would be an R in context with some of the other letters. If you look at, again, with the upside down wishbone with the dragon map on it, and you look at the way river is written, it can get, on the left side, can get high up on the R squiggle. I would.
Yeah. Okay, so that R makes sense, especially, yeah, so ENTRES. Yeah, that could be entrance.
Does anybody have any other thoughts?
The only thought I have is he talks about removing the staff in the conversation. You don't reckon that staff is what cut the flow of the water through the river, do you?
I don't know. I know one of my thoughts was, if even the gods are condemning him to walk the earth instead of making the way to heaven. I know riches sound like a good idea, but riches don't sound good enough for me to spite Osiris.
Well, no, that was part of the curse, though. Osiris specifically said, to break the curse, someone must steal from your theft proof too.
I don't know, but that's also
So,
coming from the words
it's
of a
not-
liar.
That is true, but according to him, Osiris gave him this out.
But if Osiris wanted to give him an out, why would he make the bad guy the messenger? Anyway,
You have a point.
I guess if we don't move forward, then the story doesn't move forward. So we're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, I mean, either we go in here and we investigate this tomb, and just because we go in and we get to the center and we find the pieces doesn't mean we have to take them out. We could just leave them there.
And is there a way where we can keep him in? Is there a way we can do it? See if we can find a way to do it without releasing the spirit.
How many of you watch films or read books where people have to find certain treasure or remove certain things? Because if you do read or watch a lot of films in that area,
okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back, guys. I got to go and take the cover off the pool for some kids who want to swim in the very cold water. So I'll be right back.
That's a bit. What happened if we've been sent in there to remove something because it is protected by wards that prevent something else from getting their hands on it, like someone dangerous, and we just like the bait to remove it for the great evil to then get a hand on it. Obviously, this is a D&D game, so obviously we gotta go in there, get it,
and release the spirit.
They're gonna get stolen, and we're gonna have to get it back.
Just because we go in there and find the object does not mean we have to remove them from the tomb.
True.
And there might be other clues once we get in the tomb and find the objects. There might be other clues to verify or refute the guy's story.
But the treasure is always so good that you want to touch the shiny.
I didn't say we had to not touch it. I just said we don't have to bring it out.
I guess we won't know until we see the shiny.
Well,
exactly. The other thing is we are on a mission to find this legendary sphere of power. What if the gem the guy is talking about is the sphere of power? Because the gem is an object of power that he was using to rule and that he channeled his curse through. So it might be that the legendary object we are looking for is that gem, and it could be that the gem and or the staff are some of the keys to find that sphere.
So technically, we might not need to move one of the items. So we might just need to take one of the items instead of all the items.
All right. I just had an inner monologue with myself and my brother.
And what did the two of you decide?
We're not interested in the treasure. We're interested in seeing if we can battle a demigod.
Well, all I can say is if anyone took the treasure and it's cursed and it's a trap, you can't blame the kitty cat because the kitty cat ain't got no pockets.
Fair enough.
And I'm just going to throw one subtle clue out there for you guys to ponder a bit further. Why did Osiris curse him?
Because he abused his people, and I would have to read back, but what I took from it, I could be totally
power,
wrong.
Basically.
He abused his
He
power,
abused
made a
his
temple
power.
unto himself, and
Is
Osiris cursed him.
Is that why
And the
Osiris said he cursed him?
What's the last piece you said?
Is that why Osiris said he cursed him?
Let's see.
Your monument to life was to be the benefit you brought to the people under your stewardship, not this edifice of stone. As you looked only to your death in life, so shall you look only to your life in death. I am bound to fulfill your curse, for you have called it down with power in my name. But I do curse you as well, Amun-Re. You shall not enter this tomb where the implements are of your voyage to heaven until some mortal soul does despoil this place, taking your staff of ruling and the star gem of Mopelar from your theft-proof tomb.
I only half listened to what he said because once he started talking about what Osiris was saying and all these other reasons, I'm like, I'm the kind of person who takes it from the horse's mouth. You could be speaking for someone else and lying the whole time. So I only half listened.
Okay, so according to the guy's story, it sounds like Osiris cursed him because he abused his power and was selfish and looked only to providing himself for his afterlife rather than providing for the lives of his people while he was during his reign. That's what it looks like.
Anyone else have any input?
Well, what happened if the guy who hired us to go look into all this, if he secretly not Jafar from Aladdin?
And I don't think he actually hired us. I think he recruited us. There's a subtle difference there.
Yeah, I don't think he's expecting you guys back for payment or anything. He did say
Yeah,
that.
he recruited us.
You know.
He didn't. There was no actual talk of payment. There was a little bit of assistance up front to outfit us, but there was no talk of actual payment should we return with the desired object.
Well, I think he said that that he talked about the curse causing the land to be desolate, right? Didn't he? He wanted us to break the curse because it would open. Am I crossing lines? Am I crossing storylines here? But didn't he say that the land was desolate and not fruitful as much because of the curse? Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it was because of an Ifrit that got loose.
Oh yeah, the Ifrit. Right. Forgot about that little.
And Ifrit got loose and somehow caused. I'm wondering if the two stories are related, but that they are both garbled versions of the truth.
Yeah.
Well,
because they both talk about the land being blighted. And
well,
we
this
gotta look back
story
at that.
is talking about the land being blighted because the fountain stopped.
And what about can somebody read through the poem again, see if we can kind of put some of these stories together, the song, not the poem. And let's see if we can kind of piece some stuff together.
Makes sense.
Legends
of bold powers have told of when the land did cry. The pharaohs of old buried their gold hidden beneath the sky. A daughter of the land with secret in hand, the legend will not die. Keys to the past were made to last despite a land turned dry. Hidden from sight, jewels of the night fallen from on high. Spread across the land like fingers in a hand, together they scry. The means to open the way, come night or day, with them fate cannot deny.
Ooh, so the something to the way, the key to the way is the sun, the night or day is the sun shining in the morning on the prism and at night. So there's that. That makes sense.
I'm wondering if this is our end goal and we have come here too soon. Because pharaohs of old buried their gold hidden beneath the sky.
Right, so there's Amun-Ra burying his treasure in the pyramid.
Keys to the past were made to last despite a land turned dry, which could refer to the drying up of the river.
The Fountain of Athos, correct. Yep, that's what I was thinking too.
Yep.
So the other travel option.
So you have it all figured out. It's time to go kill stuff.
No, actually, are you just getting back?
Yeah.
So yeah, you missed a lot.
Good thing there's a recording. I'll catch up later.
We're.
I'm thinking that we might have come here too soon and we need to backtrack.
We're cross-referencing the story given by Amun-Ra and the song sung by the people in the bar.
And
for clues.
And the legend as told to us by what's his name who recruited us.
Yeah.
The guy whose living room we teleported into?
Yeah.
Amun-Re.
Yeah.
So, are you thinking we need to go find the daughter of the land?
The shaft sped from the darkness. And so...
I'm thinking we need to find the keys spread across the land before we come back here and try and enter the pyramid.
What does it say about the female in the song?
A daughter of the land with secret in hand, the legend will not die.
Okay. Daughter of the land.
Sounds to me that she was. It sounds to me like she was the architect of the legends continuing rather than dying out. If stories are not retold, they will die.
We haven't run across any sort of female.
Here's a question.
Not really.
Here's a question. What was the singer who was singing the song female at the time?
Doesn't say.
I can't remember who was singing the song in.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I don't know.
During this time,
It
one
does.
piece of
It
music
does
captured
say.
Shayla's attention.
It does say a
Though
daughter
the music
of the
was
land.
quite. No, he's asking the singer of the song when we were in the bar, and the notes do not say. I'm staring at the printout of the PDF that you sent us about this scene. It does not say who was singing the song, or
Right.
rather, who was performing.
Right. It was on the radio.
So we have not actually come across any significant females in this story, other than this mention in the song.
Right. And I see that the night the Athos stopped flowing, was the night that Amun-Ra was killed by a spear from
Correct.
a crowd. So his death stopped the flow of water, which is interesting to me because unless he triggered some sort of curse or trap on them when they uprose against him. Okay.
He cursed them, saying that the river would dry up if he died, and then somebody killed him within minutes of his making that statement.
Cursed them by saying, by the ruling staff and the star gem of Mopalar, I curse you, threaten not my life or by them, by the holy name of Osiris, will the stopping of my heart also stop the spring. Yes. So he was holding them under blackmail pretty much.
Yeah.
You kill me and everything will dry up.
Yeah. And they killed him anyway because they decided it was better to to it was better to kill him and be free and have the land dry up than.
So there's the brother's answer. We don't care about the treasure. We care about bringing lifeblood back to the land and defeating the demigod. Okay.
There is one thing we could do before we go back looking for more information. Is definitely check the pyramid first. Just make sure no evidence on the wall, because normally, pyramids normally write the story of the land for all to see. So what was told to us might not be what's written on the walls in there. Something else might be written in there which says a different message, or maybe something similar. Who knows?
You're saying go check out the city and the temple.
What I'd say is check out the pyramid first. Just make sure there's no written information inside there first.
Okay, Kaoli will refuse to go inside the pyramid.
Oh,
Redrith won't.
Because it's her belief that this is where we need to bring the keys, but we don't have any of the keys.
We don't even know where to get the keys.
Right. So she's not against checking out the ruins of the city, but if we go too far into the temple, she will draw the line and say no further. I don't want to risk going into the pyramid. If we go into the pyramid without all the keys, we don't even know how many there are, then we might never get out. And we certainly won't reach our goal.
The poem also says, buried their gold hidden beneath the sky. This pyramid's not very hidden. It's a bright, big spotlight.
But what you got to remember is pyramid is like a tomb, and a tomb is hidden beneath the sky. It's underground.
Yeah, but where in the pyramid where in the pyramid is the treasure? There are all sorts of secrets in pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
And hidden beneath the sky does not necessarily mean physically hidden. It has, as far as we can tell, I believe all indications are that nobody has been here in millennia. Which is plenty of time for the memory of where to find this place to have vanished.
Well, something definitely doesn't smell right, because why would he give us a map?
If he is telling the complete truth, he would give us the map because he wants our help. He cannot move on until we take his objects of power out of the pyramid. If he's telling the truth. And so he would want to help us. Hence the map.
Well, hopefully as the journey goes on and we talk to more people and gather more information for the overall picture, hopefully we'll be able to get a better view on everything.
So what is your plan of action then?
Don't everybody all talk at once.
I've just been enjoying the conversation. By the way, Dan, I did give Haig an inspiration point because you hit on something very specifically. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but you made a very good deduction in your discussions.
We're approaching the tomb from the southeast. Is that right?
From the south, pretty much.
Okay. Redrith heads up towards where the parchment shows the fountain is supposed to be.
Well, you're still a few hours away from the temple.
Okay.
You picked up the parchment, so are we continuing up to the pyramid?
Yeah, might all explore a little.
Yeah, I think we are. I think some of us want to explore the city. Some of us want to explore the temple. Some of us are itching to go inside the pyramid, and some of us think that going inside the pyramid right now is a very bad idea.
Yep.
So,
I got all.
but I think we're all agreed. I think we're all agreed that heading into the city to do some more investigation and see if we can glean any clues about the truth or falsehood of the Spectre's story would be a good place to start.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
Just a question for you, Keith. When you said we was on a search for Elven artifact, what was the Elven artifact of power? Was it like a powerful gem that got lost from our people, or was it something else?
Sphere of power?
Hmm.
You mean the legend of what Amun sent you to go find? Yes, that artifact?
Oh no, I'm talking about the artifact. That
got your game started.
Yeah.
The reason he joined our group.
For all you know, it could be the same thing. You still don't know. I mean, you were sent on a journey in a certain direction by divine influence.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not this is an interruption of that assignment or just a continuation, or whatever your divine influence is putting you where you needed to be, you still have no idea.
Okay.
So this could be what your God has intended. It may completely be an interruption, or it could be a combination of both. You don't know.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So, but yeah, there's definitely an inkling within you as to, this could be, the thing I'm supposed to go looking for anyway. Even if it is on the other side of the world. Well, if it was on the other side of the world, I guess this is a perfect way for my goddess to get me over here.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so there is some consistency to it, but it's just all circumstantial. Make sense?
No, that's fair enough. My cat brain is really knows ideas for its head. Meow.
Yeah, I have to remember that I've actually injected very little of my own story elements into this overall arc. So you threw me for a moment. I'm like, oh yeah, that's something I added. All right. So with that being said, it's close to about 10 o'clock by the time you guys, have gone through this discussion and deciphered what you have and start moving on. And so it's about another, it's probably about close to 1 o'clock in the morning. Probably even a bit later than that. At this point, you arrive on the spot on the map up here. And all right. As you approach, in the midst of the vast desert sands, stands the last relic of a dead civilization. From the broken foundations of a once mighty city, a great pyramid rises, its polished stone walls gleaming in the moonlight like the facets of a gigantic jewel. It is oriented with the compass points, a wall surrounding it. Before it, on the south, a temple stands guard, the only break in the wall. The pyramid and its temple are the only buildings that have escaped ruin. All the other buildings facing the broad boulevard that once led to the temple stairs are gutted shells filled with the drifting sands of the desert. Thin wisps of smoke rising from what appear to be pavilions near the temple steps announce that Turbakar, though a dead city, is not lifeless.
Ooh.
Sorry, updating my notes, then I will read that blurb again because I was busy.
Not a problem. I got a little more to add to it, actually. The pyramid is about 750 feet square at the base, rising to a height of at least 700 feet. The highly polished rock that forms its exterior is untouched by desert sands, in contrast to the rock of the 20-foot high wall that surrounds it.
So I'm going to lean down to Kitty Kitty and go, care to do some recon?
The pyramid sides face the compass points. The only break in the guarding wall is the temple to the south. Entrance is obviously via a platform that opens in the south face, 50 feet above the ground. Stairs climb the pyramid's south face from a walkway connecting the rear of the temple and the pyramid. Like the stone of the surrounding wall, the stone of the temple is worn by time, though still solid and sturdy. There are no windows in the temple wall, and only one entrance gained via the two staircases flanking a circular basin, climbing 30 feet to the temple porch. The temple's roof is capped by one large and two small domes. A broken lime cement basin, 100 feet in diameter, with no apparent openings in the bottom, lies within the embrace of the stairs to the temple entryway. That's this area here. The basin obviously once contained water, which emptied into a deep channel in the desert ground. This channel leads away from the temple, south, passing the building ruins there before turning east and then north out into the great desert. Okay, everyone's been added to the map. You got plenty of stuff.
Nice.
You've got plenty of stuff to copy. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break now. We'll give ourselves about 15, 20 minutes, and then should be a solid run until we finish up for the day.
Okay.
Any questions before I bail?
I'm sure we'll think of some while you're gone.
Yeah, of course. I'll try to listen in and hop in if I can, but you should have plenty to work with at the moment. All right, enjoy, folks.
I think it's in our best interest to have Kitty Kitty walk around to be less stealthier for one, and an animal creature is probably going to is going to look less interesting than a humanoid. I'd like to know what's causing the fires or who's making them.
Very true.
I mean,
Kind of my thoughts.
I'm not going to protest if you insist on sending the cat, but I am going to also go do some recon. Because that is sort of what I do.
Yeah. Oh, you've got high stealth too. You got like a super high stealth roll too, don't you? I just know that I don't.
I suspect that my stealth is going to be higher than the cat's. Yeah, my stealth bonus is higher than the cat's.
Cool.
So my plan is to scout out the smoking pavilions, because there's clearly creatures here and fires. So I was going to scout that out and see if they're likely to cause problems for us.
Yes, please. That was my, yeah, that's exactly what I'm worried about.
But I'm also curious about, everything else, the ruins of the city itself. But first things first, let's investigate these pavilions with smoke coming out of their tops. Because
Are you guys, go ahead.
Because, yeah, apparently, the city might be a dead city, but thin wisps of smoke rising from what appear to be pavilions near the temple steps announced that Turbakar, although a dead city, is not lifeless. Well, that means there's creatures here that, like people-type creatures that might interfere if they notice what we're doing. So definitely scouting those out first is my plan. And we can't really make much of a plan beyond that until we have that intel.
My thought is it could be undead, and I just would rather know if we have the ability to, or the possibility of running into undead or something unfriendly.
Well, yeah, that's the entire point.
I don't mind a fight. I just want to know what I'm fighting.
Yeah, before you get into the fight, exactly. Right. So that's my plan. Is I'm gonna go investigate around the pavilions and see if I can figure out who or what is there. Thin wisps of smoke rising from pavilions implies some kind of intelligent creatures, like people intelligent, not just animal intelligent.
Right.
So I just don't have a good indication on this map where I should put my token to indicate that that's what I'm investigating, because the pavilions do not appear to be on this map. Well, they are not represented on this map.
You got thoughts, Jim?
That's a really large basin, really large stairs, judging by the scale of the 5 foot.
Yes. Yes.
So
It's huge.
since even getting to the my spells would barely reach to the top of the stairs. So I am definitely going to make my way up the stairs to the top of the stairs, where I can see what's going on up there.
Miz, you don't have Pass Without a Trace, do you?
Let me have a quick look for you.
I don't think he can cast spells in animal form, though. He'd have to revert first.
It's true. I mean, Pass Without a Trace will give a +10 to any of our rolls.
Unfortunately, that's something I haven't taught to the spirits for this particular day.
Yeah, I guess before I go upstairs, I would see what the 2 scouts are doing. I see Mizram go up the other stairs, and I basically see what your character's doing, Alex, and I don't want to get ahead of the scouts.
I can't represent my position on the map accurately because the pavilions are not represented here, so I don't know which direction they are or if they're even in the area shown by this map.
Doesn't he mean the pavilions are up at the top of the stairs?
He didn't say.
No, I got the impression that the pavilions, it says... All other buildings facing the broad boulevard that once led to the temple stairs are gutted shells filled with the drifting sands of the desert. Thin wisps of smoke rising from what appear to be pavilions near the temple steps. So near the temple steps. So
okay.
In this area, but not on the platform.
I think it's probably.
But I don't know where.
Go ahead.
I don't know where near the steps they are. Are they here? Are they here? Are they here? Are they here? I mean, it's not clear from the description. And I moved all the tokens except the brothers out of the basin. I couldn't get the brothers to move.
Oh.
For some reason, my token permissions did not extend to the brothers.
I'm thinking about seeing if Jim can put up Lehman's tiny hut, and the brothers just stay quiet somewhere until you guys do some stealthy recon, because our stealth sucks.
Yeah, that would take 10 minutes. We could set it up. It's a 20-foot diameter sphere. Now, underneath the stairs here, is that open or is that solid?
The way the picture shows, I was thinking it was solid.
Okay, so I guess in one of the ruins of one of the buildings that are leading up to this, we could set it up, just so it's kind of out of sight. The thing is if something kicks off, you guys are going to be a long way away from it, right? Because from where our characters are right now to the top of the stairs is like 100 feet. That's what 4 rounds of combat. So 3 or 4 rounds.
If you're looking,
or at least 2 if you double dash.
If you were looking at obviously the size of us versus the staircase, those stairs are large. I was thinking possibly in the nook of the staircase between the nook and the altar, the nook and the staircase and the platform. It's semi-hidden, but not ridiculously.
Like
I wouldn't
there?
put it. No, I would.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know that I would put it there.
Where did it go? I gotta get better at this. What do I do? Hit
probably
both?
like
There?
I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
Something like that.
Okay. Well,
that-
it's going to depend on where the pavilions are. The pavilions are not represented on this map.
I don't think the
Right.
scale is quite right, because
I
that
don't
says
think
I'm
that's
not sure
that says that's 10 feet radius. It shows it's covering, you know, the. Oh, I guess it is, but
yeah,
it's
no,
odd
it's
if I.
right.
That's 15, and that's 20. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So okay, so a 10-foot radius would be that.
That. Yep.
So. Yeah, I mean, we could just set that up and make it sand colored, and
That's what I was
right at the foot of the stairs, if you guys want that. And then Redrith's just
Yeah,
got to hang out right smack in the middle of it.
I'm thinking that we are all like currently like just off map about there-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kaylee would have insisted that we approach cautiously because we don't know what's here. She was thinking creatures other than people intelligent creatures, but she was thinking creatures might be here that could interfere and traps and things. So she would have insisted on caution. Maybe not stealth, because we have a couple of people wearing heavy armor with who really just don't do stealth, but definitely caution. And
if we're worried about if we're worried about something coming up through the sand to us, I could always set it up right on the edge of the stairs here. That would give us a refuge to come back to.
I can't plan anything until I know where the pavilions are. According to the description, they are somewhere on this map, but there is no representation for the pavilions that have smoke coming out of them. And until I have that location, I cannot plan I can't plan anything. I can't make any recommendations.
The pavilions are actually two small tents that are on the east side of the map, just off the southern edge of it. They are pretty much open tents with a couple of bedding slots, two in one, three in the other, and there is some signs of provisions, but other than that, they are remarkably sparse. But there is a fire pit that was in front of one of them that has been mostly smothered, but is still generating fine wisps of smoke. So,
Okay, so just off map in that direction?
A little more southerly than easterly, but yes. Yep.
So more like that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, because my plan was to scout out the pavilions while the others hold up somewhere. If the pavilions are just off map, then Kaylee would have recommended that we not pass them quite yet until I figure out if there's anybody there.
Okay.
Once I figure out that there's nobody there, I would have signaled my less stealthy companions to go ahead and set up a hiding spot somewhere on this map. That yellow 10-foot circle would be fine, and then I'd like to go back and see if I can figure out just from observing who the heck is set up these pavilions and why they might be here.
Okay, Redrith is in the hut, and I'm assuming Haig and Varric are hiding in it too.
And that's where the
Haig and Varric are keeping to themselves.
the little
and
10-foot circle down there. That's where you put the hut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I made it sand colored. It's the same. It's a dome, so it's obvious it's something. But
He right-clicked on the image to find the matching color and then dabbed it on the tent.
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Yep. I drop color picker.
Anything?
All right,
So
Dan,
I'm off investigating.
Dan, you can put Varric in the hut also.
Sorry, I'm also trying to get some eggs for the kids. So, 1 second. There we go. Okay.
So, Keith, I am poking around, not so much disarranging things, but just observing and drawing conclusions from what I can see about who or what is has set up these pavilions and why they're here.
Gotcha.
And how long they've been here, and whether they appear to be equipped for an extended stay or just, a little bit longer, just a short while.
Understood. First, start with a perception check in the tower, please. All right, so one thing that you do pick up upon when you're in there is an odor. It's not an unpleasant odor. It's actually somewhat likable. Not your preference, but you can see it being aromatic. You can't quite place it though, but it's definitely familiar, but at the same time, it's definitely, it's not an old familiar. It's like you've smelled it recently for the first time somewhere, but you can't quite think of where.
Okay. And the intent is to do this stealthily so that I leave as little trace of my presence as possible.
Gotcha. Go ahead and add a stealth check then in the tower.
And things like how many of them are there and how well equipped they are, and
like
anything I can learn.
As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 beds in one of the pavilions and 3 in the other, and they're not really beds. They're basically just straw mats with a little bit of linen or you're going to guess wool, but it seems kind of light for wool, so you're not quite sure. But it is lighter. It covers the straw mats, and there's room for 5 people across the 2 tents. There seems to be nothing else in there other than a little bit of food supply. No water is present. The food supply is probably enough for 2 days for 5 people. Otherwise, it's very, very sparse. Just enough to provide some shade from the sun in the daytime.
Any sense of how long they might have been here?
It's a pavilion, so it's not a permanent structure, obviously.
Right.
Given desert phenomena that you've encountered, you would say someone would have to have been here keeping the place up regularly. You don't see any signs of anyone here at the moment, but someone was here recently because of the smoldering fire pit.
Right.
But in terms of it being a permanent structure, very highly unlikely. But I mean, let's see. So, it depends on how long whoever's been here has been maintaining it. So they could have set up the tent a week ago and left it, but that's not true because of the fire pit. But someone could have been coming by here for, every other day or once a week or however often for, who knows, a few months, a season or 2, maybe
Okay,
a year or 2.
Okay. Okay, so it could be anywhere from it's established enough that it's more than a few hours old, but other than that, I can't really tell if it's been days, weeks, or months.
Right, because it's very sparse, so there's no sign of any refuse or any trash collected or whatnot. And it basically comes down to how long do you think you would be willing to hang out in a tent before you decided to build something a little more permanent, especially if you have these kind of buildings around? Unless there's a specific reason people don't go into the buildings.
Right. Okay.
Totally nab their food.
So.
Are you doing so, or is that said in jest?
Redrith isn't. Redrith's in his hut. He can't leave the hut or it'll disappear.
Okay.
I'm with Carolee, but I'm just sitting back quietly, keep an eye on her, make sure she's not going to be in danger. So.
Okay, so in terms of how recently anyone has been here, the only clue I have is that the fire is still smoldering.
Correct. So it doesn't tell you how long, but how recent since someone has been here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna finish my observations and then report back to the others and tell them what I found, that someone's been here, recently, because obviously otherwise the fire would probably have gone out, but otherwise, they could have been here for days, they could have been here for months. And they're not here, they're not here now.
So after that, I would just.
What time of day
say
is
that
it?
we don't.
It's midnight or middle of the night, isn't it?
This is the middle of the night.
Shortly after midnight.
This is still the middle of the night.
Okay.
If we want to look for other clues, I say we could go for it. But my other thoughts are, they may be able to help if we wait for a possible return.
Another question, Keith. Was it at all apparent why they might be here, just from what they left behind, or was all they left behind their sleeping bags?
Sleeping areas, but yeah, that's pretty much it. No table,
okay.
No kind of packs or other belongings.
Yeah, nothing to tell what type of people they are, like if they're other adventurers or if they're, just passing through and happen to come upon the whatever.
Yeah, pretty much the only other clue is the smell that she picked up on.
I mean, they could be people just exploring the ruins, like studying ancient history of the ruins.
Archaeologists or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they could have.
Yeah, it could be. So there's no indication as to what they are. They are they do seem to be humanoid, medium-sized.
Well, based on the side of the beds.
Yeah, nothing suggesting that they're abnormal.
Okay. So they're probably people about our size, but no good indications of what race they might be. My best guess would be probably desert dwellers, the locals of some tribe or another.
I'd be interested in hanging out to see if they return and we can talk to them.
Yeah.
Redrith's cool with that.
I was gonna say, what do you think, boss?
Not that we're gonna be terribly stealthy with all of the camels hanging out right there by the stairs too. I mean, they're going to know we're here as soon as they start coming down the stairs.
If that's where they went.
Not for nothing, but
Was
if they
there
do
any
come out and see that
indication-
slew of camels, we might look like a very large progression to normal desert people because we're not and needed to take all those camels for extra stuff.
Yeah. Was there any indication as to what direction they frequented the most, whether it was towards the temple or towards the ruins or anything else?
It does seem to be a waypoint along a path between the channel that runs from the basin and the stairs.
Okay. So if they're not in their pavilions, they're probably in the temple area, in the temple or the pyramid.
Or had been there.
He said, he said a path from the stairs to the basin, to the empty basin.
To the channel. Apparently the channel that leads from that basin is a path, a trail leading, as I mentioned earlier, south past the ruins and then turns east and north back. And
Gotcha. Okay. But I thought you were saying like they had walked a path into the ground from the channel to the basin.
No,
like leading us to the basin.
If you look at it carefully, go ahead and do perception checks if you want to, but anyone that gets more than about a 15 on the perception is going to realize that channel is an ancient riverbed.
Yeah. And dry riverbed.
Not me so much.
No.
Redrith's concentrating on the dome.
Dry riverbeds can make very nice roads.
And since nobody wants Redrith's fireballs, he's just concentrating on the dome and looking through his notes for his spells.
Oh, you stop it, pouty pants.
No, that's fine.
Kaeli actually appreciates the fireballs. Fewer creatures to fight.
Does come in handy, that's for sure.
Handy for those avoiding the fight.
Better to avoid a fight than to start one.
Not as far as the brothers are concerned. Anyway,
the brothers would rather instigate the fight. Kaeli would rather just bypass it.
I don't want to instigate. I just want to prove that I'm better than you. Not you personally, but...
Redrith knows he is better than you. So he doesn't need to prove anything.
Kaeli just isn't interested in comparisons of who's better than somebody else. She's good at what she does, and somebody else is always better, but that doesn't matter.
Miz,
and
go
Miz
ahead.
says, "Mom." Yeah.
Miz, go ahead and roll a stealth check inside the tower, please.
Okey-dokey.
And I presume you want to investigate up the stairs?
Yeah, I would like to go slowly up there. You know what they say, curiosity get the better of the cat.
The stairs leading to the temple's porch are of stone, pocked and pitted by the desert sands. Wide banisters of stone flank the steps, their graceful arcs leading to a semicircular protrusion from the porch. 6 pillars hold up the porch roof. 2 arched doors of bronze stand closed in the temple wall. And as you come to the top, you see that those 2 doors are guarded by 2 humans.
Ooh.
By the way, just in case they do notice me, I'm like crouching really low on the steps, and I'm just basically, when you just put your paws on the top step, you just slowly peek your little cat head eyeballs over the top step.
Mm-hmm.
No, my look, it always the way when I play
So the one
cat-like
on the
creature that
west,
carries me away.
the one on the west, as you come up to the steps, the one on the west has a clear view at you. The one on the east, you don't quite notice right away because he's behind that pillar. So as you come up the steps, you see the one clearly on the west. He doesn't seem to be looking in your direction or aware at all. So as you start slinking to avoid notice or whatnot, because he doesn't seem to be responding to you, that's when you notice the other one behind the pillar, and he is looking in your direction.
I will just basically lie down, give a yawn, and then just tilt my head up like I'm checking out the stars.
Perception? You hear the one behind the pillar say something to the other one. As he does, the other one, the western one, looks towards you. And he says something, again, in a language you don't recognize. But he seems excited, and his eyes widen, looking in your direction.
I will just tilt my head in a direction, just tilt my head to the side, look quizzingly, and then just once again yawn again, and then just rest my head down like I'm going to take a nap on a nice cool stone at night. Unless they approach me or draw a weapon, then obviously I'm just going to play it neutral.
One of them takes, they both have spears at their sides. One of them takes a spear and puts it in a ready position, kind of pointing at you, but he's not advancing at all. And the other one says something to the other one, and he's obviously a lot calmer based on the tone of his voice, but you still can't tell what he's saying.
Once again, I'll just yawn and then slowly turn away and then just slowly just walk down, not run, just casually, like there's nothing.
And as you do so, you kind of see out of the corner of your eye the one who went into the ready position. He kind of goes at ease and keeps an eye on you, but he seems very relieved that you're heading back down the stairs.
Okay, I'll just keep heading down there till I get to the bottom.
And they are far enough back that you can't see them from the bottom of the steps, nor can anyone in the party.
No, that's okay. And I'll just be like, meow. And I will slowly walk up and poke my head through the tent and then look at everybody with sad eyes. Meow.
Such a communicative kitty.
I would like to play Catch Rod, where basically I try to make them guess what I saw, but I can't see that working with this lot.
Yeah, you're not Bumblebee where you can auto-tune the radio.
No. I'll tell you what, around about now, I wish I picked Ghostwise Halfling because they can use telepathic. So it'll be really good right now.
Yeah, they have a limited telepathy, don't they?
Yeah.
When I was much younger, in the days of second edition, one of my favorite campaigns that I ran, two of my best friends played a psionicist and a dark elf rogue, and they were freaking formidable.
Nice.
Yes.
That would be quite the combo.
Yeah, and the psionicist did psychic surgery on the rogue, so they pretty much had a mind link almost constant. So anything that the rogue saw, the psionicist was completely aware of, even if he was around the corner, down the hall, in a different building, not quite on a different dimension. I had to use a lot of that to keep them detached.
Jim, did you have any suggestions on how Miz could communicate?
Who, me?
No, I said Jim. If he had any suggestions on how Miz could communicate, who's giving him an opportunity to tell Miz to transform again. I thought that would be funny.
I look at the cat and say, well.
I do like a turn motion outside the tent.
You do like a what?
You know when a
tail motion.
Like, you know, like when an animal like looks at you and then turn their head like to go out the room, like to say, "Follow me."
That's not going to work very well. The dome will disappear if I go. You could just say it right here.
Are you saying it in character? That's awesome.
Yep.
I'll basically go up to Jim character, and I will just put my paw on his cloak, and just go just tear like to lie through it, and then walk up to one of the Goliaths, and hopefully they can figure out what I'm trying to say with two slashes in the cloak and walking up something.
And I'm gonna. I guess I'll turn over.
What? Say that one more time.
I said I walk up to your cloak, I stick my claw in, and just basically just drag it down once, and then drag it down, try to make two slits in your cloak, and then just walk up to one Goliath, like to like try.
You do that to me. You do that to me, right?
Yeah, he's pawing at you, but he's getting a little.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's going to cut my clothes.
Your cloak.
My cloak.
I'm not that much of a horny cat yet.
Okay.
I'm just looking at you and shrugging.
Okay, so you're close. So you're moving up close to me?
Mm-hmm.
Both brothers.
Okay.
Both brothers, please make wisdom checks.
You are. Well, I still show you're 10 feet away from me. Are you're so you're coming right up next to me?
I'm gonna get closer, but is he showing any signs of going to sort of like being a bit agitated towards me?
Actually, Dan?
I'm waiting to see if you are actually going to go through with cutting my cloak.
I'm trying to do it, but the map is in the way, Keith. Give me a second.
Okay, I actually do insight checks for both of them.
Insight, okay. In the tower, correct?
Yes.
You can get a clue to how my character feels about having his cloak cut by looking at the combat tracker too. And I ain't got healing spells.
Do I can I make a some kind of a check to see if I can figure out what the cat is doing?
You can do an insight check also, but I am going to definitely apply a penalty because you're still not aware that the cat has human intelligence or humanoid.
Yeah, but it's become quite obvious to me that this cat is not a normal cat.
Yes.
This is rather confusing.
Yeah, you have no clue, but the two brothers basically do figure out that he's the cat is telling them that there's something There's something alive up above, and probably two of them.
I just want to know if he actually cuts my cloak, if he gets close enough to cut my cloak.
It depends. Is Miz trying to?
He said he took a claw to my cloak.
Yeah, but
I'm just wondering if he actually got close enough to do that.
Well, is he trying to just snag it or rip it?
I think he said he put two small slits. Yeah.
I did say I put two small slits.
Yeah, it's a cloth cloak. You're not defensive from the cat, so if he wants to, he will.
Okay. So move yourself up next to me.
He said, okay.
Bop, bop.
Easily.
Oh, what fun! Ouch.
I basically will then disengage and go.
I just needed you to step. I just needed you to step inside the dome.
Hang on. That's a ranged attack roll at melee range.
Oh yeah, it didn't do the disadvantage. It was supposed to. Here, I'll roll a second one. We can decide if it hit or not. Let me roll a second one. We'll take the lesser of the two.
Don't mess with my cloak, kitty.
Oh, it's still a hit. Okay.
Yep.
Escort Kitty goes meowing.
So I see him come up and take the claw and just go like this, and I just look at him, cock an eyebrow, and just whack him with it. Just
I love it.
Right there.
I love it.
You know what?
And we're inside the dome, so I don't know if sound goes outside the dome or not. I have no idea. I know we can hear from inside, but I don't have any idea if the sound goes out or whatever. But Redrith is like, you don't mess with me. No.
Well, basically, I go belt it out, let it out, almighty. Meow.
I do have to say, I'm giving Mizram a point of inspiration. He's very well playing out how much of a pain in the ass cats can be.
They're lovely creatures. They just can be really bothersome too.
Yes, they can be.
You did say that we picked up on the fact that he's trying to get our attention, right?
Yes, and that you also kind of figured out that he was referring to the fact that there's something up there and probably two of them.
Okay, so singed. Now that we played out the singed fur scenario, and I'm going in character. Now that we played out the singed fur scenario, I think he saw something outside. That's at you, Redrith.
Okay, say that one more time.
I said, now that we've allowed the singed fur scenario to play out, I think he saw something outside.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, do we want to investigate or do we want to move away?
You know what we want to do.
I will let you do your thing.
All right.
And Kaololi, do you want to go up and investigate and take a look, or do we just jingle up the stairs and take it on?
I'm gonna be willing to creep up the stairs, but I'm not hopeful about remaining unnoticed. I'm gonna try anyway because that's what I do. But yeah, I would like to creep up the stairs before the boys do, just to give me a chance to see if I can scout it out unnoticed. In fact, I'm gonna tell the boys to stay put unless I holler. On the off chance that I can make it up unnoticed. I'm fully aware that I'm fully aware that there's really no cover to hide behind, and I'm just relying on the fact that it's the middle of the night and therefore dark, and hoping that these things can't actually see well in the dark, and that there will be enough shadows to hide in up top.
All right, I'm going to look between Ms. and Redrith and go, your call, kitty kitty.
Oh, I already left that tent. I went
cat
meowing straight out that tent and
Oh,
straight
after
towards
you.
the abandoned tent area to go lick and heal my wounds.
Okay.
Wow.
Somebody just say hi?
Wow.
Oh, Mao. Okay, Mao. Gotcha.
So
I was like, wait a second,
yes,
there's a child's voice somewhere.
So yes, Callie is going to attempt to sneak up the stairs and see if she can report better than the cat, because apparently the cat just made a report and she didn't understand anything the cat was trying to say.
Okay, then if the cat's gone,
Right. But I'm
If
going to
the cat's
request
gone.
that the brothers stay behind while I creep up and pretty much tell them stay put unless I holler or you otherwise hear that I'm in trouble, because they're very noisy and don't know the first thing about staying hidden.
I don't intend to stay
Plus,
hidden.
they can't see in the dark.
That's a good point.
The
Keith,
stairs are very bright white, though. So
and
I would think.
I mean, there's obviously humans at the top of the stairs. What is the lighting situation?
It's nighttime. It's midnight. You got a moon out.
If we're going into any sort of battle, I'll throw dancing lights up above. So that won't be a problem.
But we're moonlit on white stairs.
Yeah, the
pretty
stairs
much.
are reasonably well lit. The porch is covered by the three domes, the one big one and the two smaller ones, so it's indirectly lit from the moonlight. It is relatively dark in there, but the light is shining in such a way through the front entrance that the guards themselves are standing in the light.
All right. So how about I give you a 50-foot head start?
Stay put.
I'm looking towards Redrith.
Let her come. Let her go look, and she's really good at what she does. So let's let her look and come back down and maybe tell us what's up there.
Communication. What a concept.
And Redrith mumbles frickin' cat.
All right, and brothers reluctantly huff and sit back down.
So yeah, I'm gonna creep up the stairs. I am doing my best to be super sneaky.
Another stealth check, please.
I'm not expecting to stay hidden the entire way up because once I get too close to the source of the light in particular, then the source of their lights, I'm gonna, not expect to necessarily stay hidden, but I can hope. And I can try.
Basically, coming out from an arc behind the two figures and then in between the two pillars lights that portion of the porch. So let's see, let me try to draw it.
I mean, how far out does it go?
I hate it when it does that. Is it not showing it? What the hell? Oh, there we go.
Oh, the drawing just appeared.
Yep, I see it now. A little bit of extra leg in it, which ignore that thing going over the thing, the left column. But basically, you can see the arc. It lights that portion of the porch. And then figure from out of the alcoves, you have the alcoves are each lit by a torch or some kind of lantern in there. Yeah, like that, much better. So there's one like that coming out of each of the alcoves too.
The brothers are
Okay.
eagerly listening at the edge of the tent.
So I'm going to continue creeping. I'm just going to leave the one up, not so that we can not clutter the map with extraneous pointers, but it gives me an idea of
So you said so that blue is torchlight? Is that right?
It is light of some sort.
Okay, light of some sort. Okay, so the columns themselves are a little bit lit, and that's probably something we could see from the dome, even down at the bottom of the stairs.
What dome?
Where we are.
Bottom of the stairs. Geez, you could see a campfire lit in the woods from, as long as it's not a thick woods, from miles. So
yeah,
we should have been able to see the light coming from
the tops of the columns, those two columns out front, we can probably see those even from our angle down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So they'd be glowing just a bit.
And
Sure.
and you can see the very tops of the other 4 columns as well, because you can see the roof.
Cool.
because
Very good.
there's a similar cone of light emanating from the alcoves to illuminate the other pillars.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna creep as close as I dare.
Haig may or may not be by the door with his fingers crossed going, get caught, get caught, get caught, get caught.
So what do I see?
Well, now that you are up there, you can clearly see that there are 2 figures standing guard. They each have spears. They don't seem to notice you, or at least are not looking in your direction. They do seem to be talking to each other, though they're maintaining their flank or their position. So they're not breaking rank, but they are talking to each other. You don't recognize them. You don't recognize the language at the moment. Their garb reminds you of the proprietress from the Inn of the Golden Palm.
Okay.
So one of the
Kuna.
Are we able to differentiate between the 2 different types of desert people? Like,
That should kind of tell you. Can anyone remember now what she was?
Began with a D, right?
The Rorindi Dervishes, yes.
Rorindi Dervishes, yeah.
As opposed to the Dupari, who are more of the usurpers of the land.
Yeah, Dupari was actually the one that I was thinking was the Dupari. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, but these 2 in Takuna were Rorindi Dervishes. And they generally have a darker skin.
Okay. Can I see into the temple at all from here?
Into the temple? No, they're just standing in front of 2 closed bronze doors.
Okay. If the doors are closed, where's the light coming from?
Torch sconces mounted on the outside of the temple wall.
Okay.
Right adjacent to the door, one on each side.
Okay, makes sense.
So yeah, it'd be kind of a little bit more of a butterfly than just a single cone, but that's roughly the illuminated area because of the pillars.
Okay.
And yeah, for the
All
most
right.
I mean, you could see it from a distance, but in terms of illuminating the area, it doesn't really light up anything beyond the porch.
Okay. They're not there to guard the approach to the stairs. They're there to notice anything that comes on the porch.
Right. And yeah, and that's, I don't know if that's a flaw in the storyline or just happens to be the way that, you know, the fact that you guys are approaching at night as you should be to avoid the desert heat. But yeah, I would think as you approach the ruins that the light coming from this porch would be a little bit more evident of life than wisps of smoke. But either way, you kind of figured out the same things.
Yeah. Okay. So, yep, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back down and make a proper report to those waiting down in the magic hut about what I saw and what I guessed.
Redreth says, "Thank you for telling me. So nice to have someone use their voice." Doesn't care whether the cat can hear him or not.
And Kayla is just kind of like, hey, it's a cat.
Right.
This is kind of like,
Meow.
right. Because I still don't know that it's not just a cat.
Redreth says, "Okay, Varric and Haig, I think we should go up and see what's going on. But what I would like is for you to wait. Let's see, that's about, 200 feet for me to get to the other stairs. I want to go up the other stairs so that as they hear you coming, they're looking the wrong way. If
we don't have to kill them.
I know, but I still want them looking the wrong way so that if something does go down, we can at least get the jump on them a little bit that way.
Fair enough.
So you guys won't really be able to see me, but wait about 2 minutes and I'll head over the other direction.
I start counting.
And I let the...
And before you can do anything, before you can implement your plan, I'm just going to give you this look like, and which side did you want me on?
You're the scout. It's up to you. I'm assuming you should come on the other side with me too, because they're going to be making all the noise and everybody's going to be looking their direction. If we can go even relatively quietly, they're not going to hear us over all the noise they're making.
I will nod in agreement and follow you up the other stairs, and we will go as sneakily as we can.
Oh, and let me untarget Mizram.
Yeah, speaking of, what's Miz doing? Which side?
Well, unfortunately, I ran off to that abandoned camp area and to lick my wounds. So unless anyone can get me and let me know what's going on, I'm still there licking my wounds.
Okay.
I'm so frustrated with the cat not talking to me that I don't even notice he's not there.
I'm not even sure if we need to go notify him because he's a cat. He's a really weird cat, but he's a cat.
Okay, and you want me to roll stealth for going up the stairs? Keith, do you want me to roll stealth?
Yes.
Okay.
And should I make another roll?
There's really no change of circumstance in your case, so not necessary.
So I think I'm stealthy, whether I actually am or not.
You rolled a 20. You know it.
Oh, okay.
I know I'm stealthy. Whether or not other people notice me, I know I'm stealthy.
Yeah, but
so I'm just
actually impressing you at the moment, Taylor.
So I'm just ever so quietly stepping up these so I can just peer over the top and see the people up there.
So when we're approaching the top of the platform,
I'm not sure how high each stair is, but I'm just going high enough that I can just see over the edge.
As a matter of fact, Kayla, you are aware of the fact you are making more noise than Redriff.
That's a little embarrassing.
Potentially embarrassing, but at the same time, you're also like, pretty damn good.
So we're not rushing the guards. We're approaching just casually. And I guess we would put ourselves just within, now that I'm zoomed in a little bit, just within the light of the sconces. And
So
I'm going to let
just make
Varric
it
do
to
the
that
talk.
top.
Right. I'm going to let Varric do the talking. Since I am also aware that my mouth is big and gets me in trouble. Let me see. Let me get this stuff situated here. And I'm going to state that interesting that a temple we were told should be abandoned has guards.
That's what Varric says?
Yeah, initiating a conversation with the guards.
Well, actually, they're going to approach you first as you come up to the stairwell and immediately inquire, who goes there?
And that would be my reply. Interesting that a temple that should be abandoned has guards.
And who told you this temple was abandoned?
For a cursed area owned or once owned by a ghost of a demigod. Why wouldn't I assume that it would be?
This is the Temple of Osiris. It is under the protection of the Dorendi. And it shall always be.
What need would you have to protect the temple?
We protect all relics of the past.
We were tasked to come here to release the curse of this temple.
They both start laughing.
I find nothing funny.
To break the curse, you have to violate the pyramid. No one comes out alive from the pyramid.
So what would you need to guard?
He looks around. He looks at you. He raises an eyebrow. He looks back behind him. He points at the building behind him. Temple! And then points behind it. Pyramid!
That's a fair point. Is there anyone we can speak to about the temple?
So anyone who is here to worship the gods, you are welcome here, but do not be caught desecrating this place, or we will hunt you down.
We do not intend to desecrate. We intend to attempt to release the curse on this land. I think that in the long run, we're of the same accord.
Redrith steps into the light and fires up his sunblade and says, "Define desecrate."
Oh, man. Oh, not good. Kayla is staying as hidden as she can.
Except for one. You are right, Alex, but one very significant point here that I have to take into consideration, and let me think about it before I reveal too much detail.
Okay.
What are you using? Redreth?
What?
What are you wielding?
Oh, magic. Damn it.
No, not magic. What?
I have the sunblade.
Oh. I thought that was
The lightsaber.
Not the lightsaber so much, but it does ensconce or encapsulate the power of the most revered object in their culture.
Oh,
The sun.
This will have a bearing on their response.
ooh.
Is
Remind me what the Sunblade's from? That's one of the darn things, the things that stinks about having space. I forget the minute details.
Yes. Why I try to make sure we record it all in one place or another, but yeah, at some point it already is getting voluminous.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, as soon as you come up on the platform, this guy steps back into position, and their guard is definitely heightened at this point. But as soon as you show the Sunblade,
Dan, in the Discord.
Awesome. Thank you.
as soon as you light the Sunblade, the more nervous one, the one to the west, looks kind of askew or out of the corner of his eye at the other one, kind of waiting for a cue. And he still seems to be remaining rather stoic, apparently enough so that the other one still isn't sure how to read him and is like, he wields the blade of Ra. What do we do?
We either finish diplomatically or violently. Choose.
No, he's not asking you. He's asking the other one. And the other
Oh,
one...
Dan really wants to fight.
I'm interjecting is all I'm doing.
Gotcha. Well, okay, so the one on the east was seeming rather patient, but he seems to have taken a bit of umbrage at your interjection.
Okay.
From that.
Tell you right now, I'm just going to have another huge sigh of reluctant disappointment if he goes, let him through. Dang it!
Actually, he gets a little bit more haughty, and so this one steps forward a bit, looking at Redreth, and points out to him, your transgressions here will be felt more than just on these steps.
As he takes a step, I'm going to step. Can I give a presence? Can I give a presence intimidation roll? See if I.
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and make an intimidation check if you would like. Well, apparently he backs away a bit.
All right.
As long as you are here to honor our gods, you are welcome to pass. We are not here to prevent them.
We were invited by your gods.
wow.
That's what the Redreth maybe is. Redreth is stretching it just a touch, but it was
more than just a touch, but they do believe you. So okay. They turn to the side with their spears pointed upward and step back, allowing you to approach the doors. But no, they do not open the doors for
you. Damn it!
That's exactly what I'm saying. Vegas like son of a bitch.
Wow. I just no. This is wow.
Niall.
All right, so Varric, being the level-headed one, is going to say, "We need more information on the on our task for the temple. Is there someone specific we can speak to?"
Our role here is only to God. You will have to ask the priests that are within. They would probably be able to tell you more if they choose to do so.
Okay.
Redrith puts out the sunblade and turns, looks over the edge, and does one of those really big whistles and says, "Here, kitty, kitty," and then starts walking towards the center.
As you guys start approaching, the guy to the west makes a comment to his comrade, but once again, it's in their native language, so you don't know what he says.
Wow.
It does not seem hostile. It just sounds more curious in tone.
Just because I'm irritated and whatever, I'm going to try to mockingly voice their language, you know, like, because I know he's speaking a different language and I didn't get to fight. I'm going to go and walk by.
You really want to get the better of them, huh?
Yes.
Oh wow!
You know, Haig, Haig's always out to prove himself.
Well, all I can say is you can guess is that these must be very well disciplined Rorindi.
Fair. Still,
because you can see him kind of gritting his teeth, but that's it.
And then I continue to Yosemite Sam towards the doors.
And Redrith just kind of takes the lead heading up to the doors since he's got the sunblade. So. It's turned off now, but he's still holding it in his hand. It honestly worked better than he thought it would. So
that makes for game though.
As my companions approach the doors, I'm coming up behind to join them.
All right, so
I don't know if they've noticed me yet.
Just to clarify. All right, first of all, the hut is still up, correct, even though we've removed the circle?
Nope. As soon as I step out of it, it goes away.
Gotcha. All right, so we have the 7 camels then down by the bottom of the eastern stairs there, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
No one was watching them?
Oh.
Redrith was not.
No.
No?
Although Mizram was down there until the very end of this, so...
Yes, I was. So I technically...
Well, the big well, first of all, the question is whether or not anyone's going to watch them as you proceed, whether or not you feel it's necessary to keep a lookout. But the second question is, are you going to tether them? And that should be a little bit more obvious.
I mean, yeah, probably we would have, I
would think we'd do that when we set up the dome and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Especially once I report back and say that there's nobody at the tents and we need to do more scouting. And we do anticipate sticking around here for a while, so we're gonna have to do something with the camels. So it's not like we're leaving them loaded. We would have unloaded them and bedded them down and tethered them.
Well, we wouldn't have done that. But we weren't really making camp yet. We could always just, I don't know, if we would just make camp right there and.
That's kind of what I'm clarifying. Is how much
we
preparation
wouldn't.
I mean, are you just knocking on the door, seeing who's at home and coming back down, or are you planning on going in for a bit?
We wouldn't have made camp, but we would have like tethered them, especially once we decided we were all going to go. We would have tethered them just so they don't wander too far.
Hey, look, Matt managed to join.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I don't know if
How's
he's
it going?
quite yet. Yep, he's there. Hey, Matt.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
missing
here.
you were missing all the fun. I got to shoot Mizram with a firebolt. So good times.
It's been a good session, dude. We've had a bunch of little idiosyncratic situations.
Idiosyncratic
There we go.
incidents.
Yeah.
Nice. All
And
right.
you got to help negotiate our way into the temple here. So
Good.
Being the level-headed brother. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Being the level-headed brother, you talked the guards down into, well, I guess they wouldn't have had necessarily been a hostile situation, but he went to step toward Redrith, and I said, nope, intimidation, back towards him. And he stepped back into where he was.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's big.
And I keep trying to poke the knights into a fight, and have been like, we've been making all the choices to avoid fights so far, and I'm like,
Hulk smash.
slumped shoulders and son of a gun.
Redrith wasn't specifically trying to avoid a fight at that point. That's why he had the sunblade out.
Oh, it's been good so far. I'll fill you in.
Okay.
Speaking
There's a zoom. There's a zoom of it too. So.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
we do have a
So Keith,
yes.
Kayla is coming up behind them to
Mhm.
join her companions at the door.
Yep.
Do they notice her?
Remember, Redrith was the one that was being very stealthy, and yeah, he actually kind of surprised them when he stepped forth with the sunblades. The kind of, as far as they were concerned, he kind of like just appeared with Ra's blade in his hand. So they were just like, oh shit, yeah, we're not going to mess with him. He probably was sent here. And that's also why they believe that you were invited here. Not that your characters know that, but you guys do. As far as your stealth is concerned, though, like I said, you noticed you weren't being quite as stealthy as normal. But let's see, if we base it on passive perception, no one would have noticed you come up there. But since I normally do ask for people to actually roll perception checks, I'm going to have the rest of you roll a perception to hear if
I'm not concerned about my companions. I'm concerned about the guards, and if the guards notice me and what their reaction might be.
Redrith's focused on the two guards there and heading up to the door. He's not paying any attention.
Gotcha.
Beyond that.
All right, so I will check on the guards quickly. They are definitely heightened at the moment.
Right.
Let's see. And no, shockingly enough, they do not notice you come up onto the porch.
They do not notice me coming up onto the porch behind. Oh. Okay.
Yep, you are sufficiently hidden behind the two Goliaths.
Okay, because I was coming up behind the pillar, so away from my companions.
Okay. Yeah,
But apparently the guards have not yet noticed me.
No, they're more concerned with these huge hulking brutes in front of them that they're kind of staining their pants over at the moment.
Okay.
All right, so
yeah, I am not interested in being noticed just yet.
Gotcha. All right, so Redrith approaches the door there. And you all pretty much notice that it seems these doors were probably built more for Goliaths than they were for humans. They seem rather big, and you can tell, even though it's not locked, these are some heavy doors. You're going to have to put, not that you won't be able to open it, but, it's like going into, some big bank office building where they purposely make the doors extra heavy for us for some stupid reason. This is something you're going to have to plant your foot on and pull open. It's not going to, they're not counterbalanced.
I will kind of step to the side and let the guys with all the muscles do the pulling.
I was gonna say, why don't we
Yeah.
offer to pull the doors so you guys can make an entrance?
Da, 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 da. We have arrived.
Yeah. Ready, Varric?
Yep.
Do it. Oh, I gotta move your guy too.
Mhm.
Do you want strength rolls?
Were you able
or-
to get in the game, or are you just in audio?
Just audio right now.
Okay.
Oh, none of my devices are cooperating. Super frustrating.
So you don't want us to bother to roll, or what do you want us to do, Keith?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
So yeah, the door's open without too much of an issue. And behind it, you find a 10-foot wide corridor, extends from the outer doors 20 feet to a second set of double doors.
2 more doors. All that fanfare, and there's another set of doors. Well, let's do that again.
Yeah, let's open them up.
Dum 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 dum. All right, let's see.
Can you see the Discord? Oh, I suppose on Zoom you can see it on Zoom, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And I will. Ms., are you going in?
I'm waiting for the other doors to be open first, just to make sure we don't get caught between in a sealed area. So I'm just waiting for the other doors to be open safely.
Okay. Can we have a 5-minute bio break real quick?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, actually, let me read the description because I don't think we can do much more beyond that.
You're behind the mic again.
Sorry, hold on a second. I was going to say, let me just read the description, what's going on, because I don't think we're going to be able to do much more than that, given that we only have about a half hour left.
Okay, then I can wait if we're going to be done soon.
This 30-foot wide by 40-foot long room is lit by torches attached to the walls. The torches cast flickering light on the very decorative wall carvings and the high dome ceiling. A human figure in vaguely priestly garb stands at an altar in front of a huge statue where he is reading from a large white book with gleaming metal fittings. 5 other humans, dressed like the 2 guards on the temple porch, stand around him, casually studying the wall carvings. So unfortunately, I do not have all the details for the main character, all the NPC stats.
Okay.
So I could rush to put it together, but it'd take me about 15 minutes to have this encounter ready, and then we probably wouldn't have enough time to finish it up. So
Is it going to be directly? Is it going to be directly combative, or do we have any sort of?
Necessarily, but even if there's non-combat, there's some aspects of him that I need to have fleshed out ahead of time.
Very good.
Right. Makes sense.
Then I say we call it a session and be done, and then you can have 2 weeks to prepare this and other things.
Yes.
Well, we can use our last 20 minutes, half hour too, to if you wanted to take a leak, or go to the bathroom.
We can come back, discuss game. I mean, I'm not anxious to shut the game down or anything. It's just I really don't have that much content to move from this point forward. But yeah, the chapter I've been working on has been absolutely unbelievable amount of content and stuff that I have to do.
No sweat. I was just thinking we could recap Matt before we call it. Cut
okay.
recording and
I'm gonna
recap Matt.
go AFK for a couple minutes, and I will be right back, and then we can hang out and chat for a bit.
Cool.
Yep, same here for me. I'll be there back shortly.
Diggy, catch you all in a bit.
I'm just madly trying to write stuff down from all the notes of everything that happened.
Yeah, this is definitely a content or detail-heavy campaign.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, the thing that I enjoy most about playing this out with you guys is that I know compared, especially for Alex, but I think this is true for at least a couple more of you like Ms., is that I know this content is new for all of you.
Yeah.
Redoing
For sure.
a module or something that, you've already played a half a dozen times or more because we all love Fantasy Ground so much, and D&D for that matter. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So I know this is all very new, and I know it's not just my stuff that I'm like, I hope they like it. I hope they like it. I know this is award-winning material, and I know how many times I've run this in a regular tabletop, where everyone has always loved the progression, the deciphering, the clues, the riddles, the traps, the whole kit and caboodle.
So speaking of that, Matt, that's what you missed today is that we approached. So we started off on our path. We slept in the tent last time. We started off on our path towards the pyramid, and were approached by what we didn't know what it was at first. So we let Miz go ahead, and then the brothers followed Miz at a safe distance behind him.
Mhm.
And Miz stopped, so we stopped, and the what we thought was a person stopped in front of us, but is a ghost. We realized he wasn't making footsteps, he wasn't whatever. Starts talking to us, and it's frickin' Amun-Ra.
Man, okay. So
And
that's why we're in the Temple of Amun-Ra. Okay, cool.
So, so he tells us that, and if you can see the chat in, you can't scroll through the chat though. So there's a lot of notes in the chat about what is said. We won't be able to go back through, right? Jim, can you copy and paste, or you're back, Alex?
Yeah, I'm back. I can paste my notes into Discord, but that's a lot.
I've been keeping track of the whole thing in my in that Kanka site also. I've been creating references to everything and all that kind of stuff too. So
I was just going to say something that Matt can look back to and read, like what was said, what Amun-Ra actually said, and what.
Oh, yeah, I can get that.
We'll make sure that that's available, because I can put it in. Do I have this one already? I do not. But I usually use World Anvil, but I mean, if I can get access to the Kanka site that you're using, I can put my notes in there.
That's up to you. That's perfectly fine. I'm using it. Anybody else who wants to look at it is welcome to. That's for sure.
Do you have like a link or something to your campaign that we could like join?
Yes. Let me pull up the dashboard.
Well, so anyway, so Amun-Ra said that he was cursed by Osiris. So the people uprose against Amun-Ra, and he told the people, if you kill me, I'm going to dry up the water and kill off the land. So they rose up against him. Somebody hits him with a spear. And I'm kind of curious if the spear is going to come back into play that killed him, but we'll see. But somebody kills him with a spear, and as soon as he is killed, in the front of the map it says, or one of the maps that we got, it says fountain, or no wait, the map that was given actually fluttered into the sand after Amun-Ra disappeared after talking to us, and we looked at it. It's a little map of the temple and the pyramid, and we had to decipher things on the pyramid today, or on the pyramid map. But anyway, we continued to cross-reference things that Amun-Ra said to us versus a song that was sung in the town where we first started in this world, or in this this area.
Yeah, part of the world, right?
Yeah. And we're trying to cross-reference things that Amun-Ra said with the song, with other things that we have found.
Right. Digging into the lore.
Yes, and then I think the hope is to try to get some information out of this guy, but sounds like this guy is going to tend to be belligerent. So we'll see, I guess.
We can just non-lethal him and kill everybody else. So does everybody know that Mizram is a druid now?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's how he got the firebolt today.
I still have not figured it out. I am very aware that this is not a normal cat, but
Right.
I have not yet figured out that he's actually a what else.
Okay. That's cool.
There's been a couple of situations where we could have gotten fights, but even the situation right now, like before we got into this hallway that we're in right now and inside the temple, there's two guards at the top. And I let you do the talking because you have the higher charisma roll.
Cool.
And we had a little bit of a banter of, it's kind of funny that there's guards in front of a temple that is supposed to be able to guard itself, and the city is supposed to be abandoned. And
right.
They replied with, "Who says it's supposed to be abandoned?" And I said, "Well, what are you guarding?" And anyway. Then Redrith comes up with the sun sword, and the sun sword is part of their culture, and they're all like, "Oh, look at that!" And then that's when we came in. One guard took a couple of steps towards Redrith, and I had your character step and go, and he kind of backed off. So that was that intimidation roll. And then, of course, Haig, his attitude and his mouth are like, "Come on, fight,
Yeah.
And they ended up backing off and letting us in the doors, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
And so for this site that I'm using, if you guys want to use it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm doing the notes as best I can and trying to keep up, and I've also got the recordings. I've just been so busy I haven't been able to go back and fill in the back notes from before I got this set up, but I'll post the link in the chat, and I set the permissions to everybody sees everything. So because I don't care, that's fine. And you all have the ability to delete. I just ask that you please don't. Delete, because a lot of the stuff links to the other. You can link to characters just by doing, like, you tag them in Facebook by doing the @ symbol and start typing the name of the entity, the reference, the location, the whatever. And so then it creates all these deep links to the content, which is the reason that I really like it, is because then I can put further details on other pages. So.
Gotcha. So anyway, we got into the temple, avoided all sorts of fighting. We didn't get to fight the ghost. We didn't get to fight the guys there was also a little hut set up, a little temporary tent area to the right of the temple that we don't know what it's there for. They do have smoke and stuff, but we don't know if it pertains to these guys, where I'm assuming it may, but there was
seems like that would be their spot.
Right, to rest or whatever. There's not a lot of food there. There is a fire that is smoldering, but we can't tell if it's a setup of, we've been here longer than a day, but we can't tell if it's a setup that's been there for months. It's a little bit more than a tent. It's a little bit more than a tent, but definitely less than a abode.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to figure something out to get this map up on and shit on my own screen. With fantasy
so what
grounds.
yeah, what you're seeing on Zoom is whatever Keith's sharing at the moment. Anything else anybody else wanted to add?
Let me make sure I save my. I've been keeping my notes for the sessions. Just so you guys know, I've been keeping my notes in the under the journal section, and I've just been labeling session whatever, and so, and it, you know, however you want to do it, it's perfectly fine. I don't care if you do things differently or whatever. It's just kind of nice to have the characters in there and the locations in there and to be able to reference those,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't have to keep repeating. Also makes it a lot easier to remember crap later on. And I've been taking periodic screenshots and then uploading them to my website and then either adding the image or just referencing it from my website so that they can be in line with the text too. I just thought of that today. I'm like, oh, that would actually work pretty well. So
Which tool are you talking about?
this Kanka, I put a link to it in the chat. So like I said, I've been so busy the last few weeks. I haven't been, I want to go back to the recordings and fill in my notes to make sure I'm not missing pieces, but I'm just trying to organize and keep track of the references between the various bits of info. This is just like the Waterdeep campaign where you get lots of little bits of info. And if you don't find a way to relate them together, then it, you know, that's where the payoff comes in, when you can look at it at something and see the reference and go and find it. That's already helped a couple times in Waterdeep for some obscure bits of info. So anyways, I gave basically everybody all the permissions. So just please don't delete my stuff. So
Trying to find one other little tidbit to share with you guys if I can find it.
and there's a ton in here that I'm not actually doing yet because I just haven't had time to fill stuff in, like organizations and families and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to keep track of the calendar also as we're going through all this stuff too. Because you can actually generate a timeline based on that stuff, which could be kind of cool. It's something they just turned on as a feature in this. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I definitely like the timeline feature in World Anvil, and I apologize that I have not had time to port stuff over to there, which probably would be very good for everyone to use. Well, I'll check out Kanka, see how that goes. Where is it? The book. Yes. That's it. So you remember the book that the guy is reading from?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, say again.
Remember the book that the guy is reading from?
The white book with the silver castings.
Check out Discord.
The Necronomicon.
I don't think that would be in white.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But that's the book he's.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Nice. That's wicked.
And there are some inscriptions on it, like the letters you've been looking at. I will have a copy of what that looks like by the next time we play.
Cool.
Not that you'll be able to make them out anyway until you actually have possession of the book, should you decide to do so, whether through combat, barter, or other means.
Hint, 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 hint. I mean, what?
Who, me? Drop hints? Nah, why would I do anything like
Eggs all for that.
that? Any other questions about the game or any of the lore at this point? I will drop one hint to you guys, actually. There is a pretty blatant clue you guys still have missed.
Really?
And I know for a fact the dots should have been connected today because both of them were referenced.
Interesting.
All things that we can pull get together from the clues we have in Discord, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Discord and the content that was stated today. Everything that Amun-Re spoke.
Okay. So if we can look through the map is there, inscriptions are there. Okay, I have to look back through the content. Can we would you guys be against putting Amun-Ra's monologue in with the ancient subscriptions? That way we don't have to go back and forth between
Yep, I'll put that in there.
content.
That is fine. I've got it fairly concisely put in Kink already. So
Awesome, thanks. So Matt, the ancient inscriptions selection in Discord should give you all the things that we've found or been given.
Okay.
So if we look at these, maybe we can put some stuff together.
I'm going to have to do it in sections.
Yeah, dissect some clues.
So I am going to share a little bit of knowledge about this book. That's DM to player. Nothing about what I say should be taken by the characters.
Okay.
And that being said, I will also be clear that the book is not necessary to complete any part of this adventure. That being said, it would be disingenuous for me to convince you that you shouldn't go for the book. What I do want to share with you is that according to the storyline, the book is written entirely in the ancient alphabet. In the actual content that I have, they did not bother to do the translation.
Oh, sad.
Yes. And in the effort of trying to be consistent and enjoying the flavor of, the whole storyline and the campaign, I did start
We get homework.
I did start trying to convert it to the ancient language. Not only is it ridiculously time consuming, I wasted probably about a week to get through the first verse in order to make it happen. And that's not even counting the time that I spent creating my own font for the damn alphabet.
Man.
But what I came to realize also, and this is probably mostly in consideration for Alex and Jim, who have had the most enjoyed translating it the most, is that if I go ahead and give you this if I give you this whole thing as the ancient alphabet, you're going to spend a lot of time debugging it or deciphering it. And not that that's a bad thing, but by the time you get through it all, it will become second nature to you, which means all of the other content throughout this campaign is not going to be much of a challenge. You're going to look at it and go, oh yeah, I can see exactly what that says.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going to lose a lot of the flavor of the inscriptions moving forward because you're all going to just be able to go, Alex, what does that say? So
I'm halfway there already.
I was going to say, it's not
that. And that's
it's
what
not
I'm saying.
necessarily a bad thing.
I'm halfway there already.
But if I give you 12 verses of it to translate, it's going to be second nature for you. So, and as I said, it would probably also take me another 2 months to translate it without getting any other content ready. So with that in mind, should you guys procure this book, I will be giving you the English translation of it. I am not going to be translating it into the entire ancient alphabet, with the understanding that the players see and believe it to be written entirely in the ancient alphabet.
But one of us took the time to translate.
Correct.
Alex.
Does that seem reasonable?
Sounds good to me.
That sounds reasonable, with the caveat that if you ever have the time, even even after we get well past this campaign, if you ever have the time to do it, please do. It would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like puzzles like that.
And if you were to do it and then put it up on one of the forums or whatever, it could spread like wildfire.
For sure.
Then a DM could actually take it to their players and say, "Here you go," and then they could open it up and go, "Oh shit."
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 verses. And each one of them is a paragraph.
No
I
kidding.
love puzzles like this, so.
Well, I will give you the part that I have done so that you can enjoy at least that much of it. But as I said, Alex, once you do 1 or 2 paragraphs of it, it becomes completely, you see it already. It becomes very visible.
You know what to do, Keith, is at the end of the module, when we're done, give us each one of the phrases and we can do it on our own time and then give it back to you.
Yeah, I can give you the source alphabet.
I would love to work on this for you. It would be so much fun.
That would be fun. I agree. I think I'd enjoy it too.
This is why I majored in linguistics.
To be able to do that kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wonder why I never got into a career more in cartography, but everything I've done has always been tech-based, so I'm not exactly out of my element, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it so much. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I am making them. And
I think they're pretty
like
great.
I said, I know the story has been something that's been a lot of fun for a lot of people, and just being able to colorize the maps. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna stop sharing over here, and let's see. I am going to show you samples of what I started with compared to what you've seen already. All right, so let's see. This is probably a good starting point. So, starting with, where's my Zoom thing? There you are. In the wrong window. The town of Bralazar. That's what I had to work with. Compared to the map that has been shared with you, which you should be able to pull up. Or North Knife Pass, which I did using the 3D terrain generation. Actually, I think I might have that one up. Yep.
Yeah, black and white maps are cool, but so are color maps.
Yep.
Yeah, black and white works, but the color maps just give that extra level of immersion.
So yeah, I went from that to that.
That's killer.
Yeah.
Ah, whoa. That's interesting. I've never seen it do that before.
Gremlins?
No, just new desktop UIs. It seems to understand that I got a lot of monitors and likes to throw me new ways of presenting all my stuff. Like, in case you haven't wondered, if you ever hit Windows Tab, you get everything all at once like this, and you also can create separate desktops. Let's see, another good example of trying to think what I can show you that has been converted that you, I guess the troll cave. Can't show you the full desert map, unfortunately, because that'll give stuff away. There's the troll cave.
Don't give things away.
No, don't want to do that. So before
And yeah, that's awesome.
and after. Oh, well, so yeah, that's the new Browlazar map compared to the other one.
Mhm.
So that versus that. I actually had fun with that, especially doing the temple up here
Yeah, that's awesome.
and Amon's garden down here. And that was the troll cave where it all began. I took that and turned it into that. So yeah, I had fun with these.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, there's my mic. That's it for me today, guys. I think it's 3 o'clock, and I got some other stuff I got to get to. So.
Yep,
man.
me too.
Okie dokie.
Very good. All
See
right,
you in a
thanks
couple
everybody.
weeks.
Yeah, take it easy.
See y'all later then.
Right,
All right.
take care of yourselves.
See ya.
See ya.
Have a good couple of weeks, everyone, and we'll see you back here in 2. And thanks for everything.
All right. Thanks,
Take
Keith.
Thank
care.
you.